It is 10 o'clock. Welcome in. It's three-man front. Jocks 94.5. Molly, Conrad, Landrum. I'm Pat. We're employees here at Cumulus Media. We welcome you to the program.
Hi, Pat. Welcome to the group.
Appreciate you having me for the next 4 hours.
You are more than welcome.
Another day closer to the NFL draft in wonderful, muggy Green Bay, Wisconsin. That will be tomorrow night. Hope you'll join me and Molly tomorrow night at Trim Tab as we will be partying with the partygoers there on site as we get ready for Jalen Milroe being the number one pick in the NFL draft tomorrow night.
You going to wear your suit?
Yeah, you just didn't even realize what I said, did you?
Jalen Milroe being the number one pick?
Oh, okay. Thought you might laugh at that.
It was so absurd I couldn't even laugh.
Oh. Stranger things have happened.
This is true. This is true.
I've not checked the latest odds to see what the likelihood of that happening, but probably not one thing that I would be betting on tomorrow night.
I saw the latest from Peter Schrager, our buddy.
Yes.
And Schrags. Jalen Milroe is not listed in his list.
No, he's not in the first round there.
Now, good news, though, for Jackson Dart. It appears that he will find a landing spot somewhere in the first round, according to Peter.
That's good. That's good. We will go over a lot of these different mock drafts. Very interesting. I'm seeing where Tyler Booker has just absolutely shot up a bunch of mock drafts for someone that around the combine and all those type interviews and stuff was not going very well, but he has been the hot stock ticket in regards to the Alabama players in the draft.
I think I saw him at 12 in the latest, and
going to the Cowboys,
and maybe not too far behind him, Jahad Campbell.
Yep, that's one mock draft. So we'll get into that. Very draft heavy guest list today. We're going to talk to Gentry Estes coming up at 11:30 on the program. Skip Holtz is normally with us at 11:30 on Wednesdays. He's going to join us at 11. Got practice and some team meetings, so we kind of move some stuff around. So Gentry Estes, outstanding columnist for the Tennessean up in Nashville, also spends a lot of time traveling and covering the Tennessee Titans. We will talk to him about Cam Ward and the number one pick. They've already communicated with Cam Ward that is going to be their first pick. So there might not be much drama, but we'll talk to him about the Titans' philosophy, trying to get that franchise back going in the right direction. Also talk to Gentry about the Nico saga that has just concluded. Also, J.P. Shadrick, one of our favorites, Hewitt Trussell's very own J.P. Shadrick, who now works for the Jacksonville Jags. He's on their broadcast team. Also, you can hear him during the NFL season on Westwood One as one of the broadcast teams there for Westwood One. You hear on Jocks 94.5. He will be on talking about the Jacksonville Jags. There's a lot of really crazy rumors going around about the Jags. I've seen one, Conrad, that says that Ashton Jeanty from Boise State might be a guy that they would take pretty high with their first pick.
Yeah, there was a report going around yesterday that I guess some people in the Jaguars front office view him as the missing piece to the secret sauce there in Jacksonville to turn things around. I would say, well, you got two pretty good running backs there with Tank Bigsby and with ETN. So if you want to go back into that well, I mean, Ashton Jeanty's a special player, but yeah, a little bit of a surprise that maybe the Jaguars are going to be really big on him. But even if they don't take him, it looks like the Raiders would take him as well, because we talked about yesterday. He's not getting out of the top 10. So
we'll talk to JP about what's going on with the Jags. As always, on Wednesdays at 10:45, we'll talk to Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider. But we're going to start, just like we started yesterday, baseball over in Atlanta. Landrum's favorite team, the Braves, taking on my favorite team, the Cardinals. Braves were up 3-2 when Matt Olson came to the dish last night at Truist.
Payoff pitch to Olson. Swung on, hit high and deep to left center field. On the run, Nootbaar. He looks up. That is gone. Opposite field home run for Matt Olson.
So Matt Olson, with a 3-2 lead, extends the Braves' lead to 4-2. The game was tied at 4 in the 8th inning when Nolan Gorman came to the plate with the bases loaded.
Righty with his 1-1 pitch. He kicks and fires. Line drive down the right field line. A fair ball all the way into the corner. In to score Scott. In to score Nootbaar. Hitting the bag at third and coming to the plate Contreras. The throw to the plate. Tag applied. Not in time. 3-run score. And as the dust settles, Gorman is sliding into third base. And it's 7-4 St. Louis in the 8th.
A tie-breaking 3-run double in the 8th inning. The Cardinals added on for 3 more runs in the 9th inning, and so they beat the Braves last night 10-4. Cardinals now improved to 2-10 on the road this year. Atlanta native Victor Scott II, he was 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored for St. Louis last night. He's an Atlanta native, so he was able to star last night. Steven Matz out of the bullpen picked up the win for the Cardinals. He went 2 2/3 innings of scoreless ball. So they're going to complete the 3-game series coming up about an hour.
Yeah.
And you can hear that game on the Jocks family of networks as Bryce Elder, 0-1 with a 7.20 earned run average. He will go up against Miles Michaelis, who is 0-2 with a 7+ ERA.
Braves, it was a bullpen game for the Braves because of Spencer Strider, and he was scheduled to start in the hamstring and being on the IL. But just a poo-poo performance, I would say, collectively from Montero, who started, what inning was it? It was when the Braves had the lead, and then he started putting guys on, and then you had a pass ball in a situation where you can get out of it. Not making excuses, that's just what happened, and that's baseball. But the Braves certainly did not do their part last night, and the Cardinals took advantage.
Yeah, the night before, Iglesias did not have a very good 9th inning. And then the back end of the bullpen for the Braves did not perform very well at all last night.
No.
So, and now you got a quick turnaround, an 11 o'clock morning game. And I heard this morning on the Conrad Van Order Slam Jam from 6 to 7 a.m.
Yeah.
That's the new name, right?
Slam Jam.
I thought that I got the memo.
Slam Jam.
Yeah, we changed the name.
Slam Jam. Okay. With special guest Damian Mitchell.
That's right.
It used to be the Damian Mitchell Show with special guest Conrad Van Order, but now it's the Conrad Van Order Slam Jam.
Way to go, Conrad.
Proud of you, man. That's good. That's big time.
Your agent's doing work.
I can't wait to see the logo. It's going to be fantastic. Anywho, I heard them talking this morning, and Conrad gave some betting advice this morning.
What?
That's right.
That Pat immediately poo-pooed on when I talked to him after the show.
Well, of course he did. You didn't consult with Pat before you gave that out on the air?
I didn't.
What's wrong with you?
What are you doing? Giving this type of gambling advice at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy. Conrad said the lock of the year is take the over of 9 runs today between the Cardinals and the Braves.
Okay.
I actually said if you are inclined to
No, I heard you say
yourself
it was the baseball lock of the year.
Oh, you're right.
That's what
I
heard.
forgot where I added that
I
on
know.
at the
I want
end.
you to inclined to entertain yourself. Keep going. What?
No, I was just, if you're the kind of person that you like to, have a little something going while you watch the game, that both of the pitchers today have an ERA north of 7. So maybe the over is something to take a look at. And Pat immediately let me know that he was on the under today.
I'm on the under.
Ooh.
Okay. We got Bryce Elder and your guy Michaelis, right? Okay.
And the reason being, in my philosophy, I'll tell America, tell the world, is the fact that the Cardinals are wrapping up their 7th consecutive day on the road. You just played a night game, followed up by an early morning game. They're going to be resting a lot of dudes. They're ready to get home. It's getaway day. That offense is not, I'm telling you, the offense is not going to be there today. I could see this being a Braves 7-1 victory. So that's why I'm saying this is going to be the under.
He's setting you up, Landrum.
I'm not setting him up.
He's-
You think-
he's
I'm
setting
just
you
giving
up.
you I will show you the betting ticket if you don't believe me.
No, I do. Oh, I believe you, but on the 7-1, we'll see.
How many players do you think on both sides? And I guess it's team specific and whoever's on the roster, but went out in Atlanta last night after the game. Like the younger players, is that a younger player thing?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think anybody did.
They just go back to the hotel.
I mean, because where are the Braves going next?
Arizona, I think.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're going out west. The Cardinals are going home. So the Cardinals have played 7 straight games on the road.
Yeah.
And up until last night, they were winless. So it's been a long trip.
They were at Magic City after the game, getting the wings. Come on. Let's be honest. Just the wings, though.
Just the wings.
They needed somewhere to eat. It was open late.
So you're not taking BP this morning.
They went to Taco Mac.
There you go.
I'm just glad it wasn't, it sprinkled and rained a little bit. Our friend Steve from Tuscaloosa, who came to Social Taco,
Yeah.
who gave Molly
Yes, thank you, Steve.
the fantastic jersey.
Those are my favorite games to attend. I can never attend them, but those are my favorites to go to.
Yeah. But
The businessman special. It's great.
The businessman special.
Yeah.
That's good.
But this is the morning where there's no BP. You just show up, and
Maybe that's what they need, Pat.
the Braves they're coming to the ballpark with their bags packed for a road trip, and the Cardinals are like, we cannot get back to St. Louis any quicker. Let's just get this going. Miles, if you have a bad day, just understand you might be on the mound for a while.
Might have to stick it out for a bit.
Yeah, your 7 ERA might be 12 by the time we leave Atlanta, but that's just the way it's going to happen.
So maybe position player pitchers today? Something to look for late in the game, maybe?
You look at some of the bullpen ERA
Man,
numbers.
remember the good old days of Jose Akindo?
Yeah, I do.
Jose Akindo. He can play every position.
Yep.
You need him come in, spell you in relief, he'd do it.
One season, he played every position.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
Yep. Catcher,
was remarkable.
pitcher, you name it.
He was the original Swiss Army knife.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Akindo.
Now he's one of our minor league fielding instructors.
Oh, okay.
He was our third base coach for years, but then he wanted to live in Florida.
Cardinals save money. He's a fielding instructor, he's a pitching coach, and a hitting
I was
instructor.
about to say, so
He
he's
can do
still
it all.
incredibly versatile.
Yes. But the Braves, despite whatever happens today, it's a good homestand. So getting 4 wins at least, could get 5
Yeah.
with a win today. So
Yeah, this team's just it's missing things, but we'll see.
very odd seeing Ozuna walk 4 times last night.
Yeah, it was. Hey, what was the deal? Every time that Austin Riley ran down the first baseline, the throw was wide. It was crazy.
Maybe it's because he's from Mississippi. I don't know.
No, it was just Arenado, I guess. I'm trying to remember how many throws were over there, but you had 2 that got by the first baseman, and 1 that pulled him off the bag.
One was Palante.
Okay, it was Palante.
Palante, that was the error last night when he threw it into the right field corner.
Austin Riley gets down the line pretty good for a big guy.
He's a big fella.
Mississippi
Swinging a good
Blue
bat
Eyes.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, he could have played at Mississippi State.
Now, your Yankees lost, right?
Yeah, they've lost 3 of their last 4.
Tigers get shut out
Rough
last
stretch.
night by the Padres.
Yeah.
So my team's the only team that actually shut out to play baseball last night.
Yeah.
That's great.
Congratulations.
And you doubled your season road win total.
That's right.
That's why I think they went out and partied.
Glass half full.
Probably.
Oh, just the wings, though.
That's 2 guys.
They can now go 2-79 on the road. Can't take those 2 away.
You can't-
Got those 2. Those are in the book.
With fans like Pat who needs hecklers.
That's right.
Hey, you think I'm bad?
I'm pretty bad too.
Just wait till
That is-
if you're ever on some text strings with Brett Norsworthy.
Oh, I can imagine. No, I'm pretty bad too. I get it. I'm laughing with you, not at you. We suck.
It's the nature of being a fan. My
But
team's
what-
in first place, and I think we suck right
But what
now.
did I tell you yesterday? I told you that if there was a game that we were going to get, it would be yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
Right. So 7-1 Braves victory today. Mark it down.
No, I'd say that. I'm hoping for under 9 runs. So whatever happens there.
That's what the kids are doing when they get on base now for the Braves. That's this year's.
Is that it?
And then they do like the little shake thing,
Okay.
like stir it up. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
The
guess.
Cardinals are doing the bird flap. That's what they do.
See,
Is that
for a
is that
while-
every year or is that changed?
It changes every year. Last year, Newt Barr came up with some eating pasta.
Yeah.
Something or
Yeah.
another.
Yeah, we did the eating pasta. I think last year or the year before.
I was about to say, yeah, a lot of them do I think the Yankees, they do the buckle up, and then they do I don't know, something like they're driving or what. I don't know. They come up with creative things.
When is somebody going to be
They're fun.
courageous enough to do the?
The steroids
Well, no, they gotta take off
in the
the-
vein.
Yeah,
Well, they got to take off the cleats and do it between the toes. That's the real
that's
celebration.
right. That Matt Damon did in Courage Under Fire with Meg Ryan.
That's right.
We found out all kinds of things on this show.
Yeah. So the Braves will be over on Jacques' family of networks, as I believe the pregame show has already begun.
We'll keep you updated.
With yeah.
Yeah.
So so the Braves and the Cardinals will wrap up a 3-game series coming up in the next hour.
Well, as we know, spring weather in Alabama can be really unpredictable, so that's why you need the reliability of a Trane, voted America's most trusted HVAC brand. And right now, you can receive up to a 10-year warranty on parts and labor on select Trane home comfort systems. So To find out more, go and visit train.com.
We'll come back on three-man front. What is going on with schools making players repay their NIL money? Commissioner Greg Sankey's in Nashville, Tennessee at the Sports Business Journal Symposium. He had some comments about that. Also reached out to some people in Arkansas, kind of giving me the 411 on what's going on with Nico's brother and the amount of money that they might get back from him. All that next on a very busy pre-draft three-man front. Jocks 94.5. Tomorrow night, the NFL draft from Green Bay, Wisconsin. You can hear it right here on Jocks 94.5. We will go a little bit deeper into the NFL draft. A lot of mock drafts out there. Where's Alabama and Auburn players expected to go tomorrow night? Might be a while for some Auburn players before they are drafted, and probably none tomorrow night in the opening round. But the preceding days, you will get an opportunity to have multiple Auburn players taken. So we'll get into that throughout the show this morning.
Well, you've heard me talk about second-generation masonry for a long time. You got to make them your choice when you need concrete center block, stonework done, decorative outdoor living spaces. They can do that. Outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, fire pits, all of that good stuff. The custom driveways, the stonework, whatever you're thinking of, they can do it. They specialize not only in residential but also commercial construction. Look at some of their completed projects by going to secondgenerationmasonry.com. Get the free quote today. And as always, tell them Landrum from Three Man Front and Jocks 94.5 sent you.
So the big story yesterday in regards to, and Molly brought this up on the show, when Arkansas released a statement saying that they were pretty much going to back their NIL, trying to get some recoup of the funds that is being thrown out there when guys sign deals and they leave. I want to take you back to Wisconsin defensive back Xavier Lucas. If you remember him, he transferred to Miami over the winter without entering the portal because the Badgers argued a revenue sharing deal he signed included a buyout clause. Wisconsin has since indicated it might pursue legal action against Lucas to try to get that money.
That's the kid that he dropped out and then just enrolled as a student at Miami too.
Correct.
Okay, that's
and
right.
Wisconsin says, hold on a second. You signed a piece of paper here, and we're going to sue you. So they were very upfront in regards to what they were going to do there. So then word comes out yesterday once Nico's little brother, Madden, heads back to California to be with his big brother at UCLA, that Arkansas was very quick to point out that they are going to do everything in their power to protect their NIL collective called the Edge. Now, we still got a little bit of time before the House settlement comes in full, and when that happens, then basically collectives will go away. You still can have collectives that can kind of still participate, but the vast amount of the money, the $20.5 million that's been laid out that you can spend, that's going to come directly from the university. So I was talking with someone from the great state of Arkansas, and they were giving me a little bit of information on Madden, and they tell me that they believe it was a 2-year deal and that he basically was making around $250,000 a year. So it's about $500,000 that's been on the table. So then the question is, how much is Arkansas wanting to recoup by him breaking this deal with the collective? And nobody really knows. And yesterday in Nashville, SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey spoke to the World Congress of Sports, and the question came up, how can schools, among other things, enforce contracts amid the transitional period between now and the House settlement? And it was very interesting what Commissioner Sankey had to say, because he kind of takes a shot at the internet and Twitter, which, once again, this is where I kind of have a disagreement with the commissioner. Commissioner always likes to point out that, there's a lot of people on social media, which there is a majority of people that like to proclaim that they have a legal degree and maybe they give their opinion, but that's what social media is about. Just like this show is about us giving an opinion, just like the callers giving your opinion. He says, you're seeing now over and over the issues of contract law that are in full display now. What are the second and third order effects? Legal minds can debate that. One of the realities now is anybody with a law degree and a Twitter account is like an expert. They put something out and I'll have a university president send it to me. It doesn't mean it's right. It's an opinion. You go back and you're going to deal with issues around agreements that are signed. Are they enforceable in this environment? Are they enforceable under the law? And that's yet to be determined, end of quote from Commissioner Greg Sankey. Whether it's Auburn and Chad Baker-Mazara, whether it's Arkansas with Madden, Ava, whatever the case may be, you're going to continue to have this debate on what's going to happen in regards to these players paying their money.
No, I agree that there are people out there that proclaim that they have a good idea of what's going to happen, but if it's not enforceable by the schools, if you look at it on the other hand, do schools are they bound to pay some of these guys? I mean, go back to Jaden Rashada and some of the other things that have been in place. There's just still so much uncertainty, but I would think it's a contract that's binding. If it's a legal document without seeing it and you've agreed to something, then you have to hold up your end of the deal, whether you're the university or you're the player.
Well, and I mean, look at kind of the other side of it, maybe, right? With the Aguilar situation at UCLA we talked about. He made, $200,000 roughly just for going through spring practice. Okay, well, UCLA, it's not like they can say, hey, buddy, Nico's available, so we appreciate everything, but that deal we agreed upon, we're not paying you that anymore. You can't do that from the UCLA side, so. Well,
I think another issue, too, is you have, we call them bad agents or people who are claiming to be representatives of these kids. And in some cases, I think they have their best interests at heart, but they have no idea. They've never been in this arena, in this realm. of dealing with contract law. So what kind of advice are they giving this kid? Are they just seeing a dollar amount and saying, oh, well, they're offering more. Let's put ourselves out there and not thinking about the
Not reading the
repercussions
fine print and everything.
that could come back on them. And unfortunately for the schools, I think a lot of times they're going to be made the bad guy in this situation, and not the kid who didn't hold up his end of the deal.
Yep. And I think that's why the commissioners want this House settlement to come through like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to be done with this. They want to be able to have a little bit of teeth in regards to what they're able to do if somebody breaks a deal. And if you have it directly with the school, not saying that the collectives don't have good attorneys, but, you piss off a university after, they might have a little bit more say so in regards to the rules moving forward of what they can do to penalize a kid if they do break the rules of an agreement.
And this is not uniform for all of the deals they're currently in place, but the ones I've seen or talked to people who have seen the contracts for higher profile guys, and this kind of goes back to the beginning, the onset of the NIL era. And you get a certain amount, like some money up front,
a signing bonus.
Thank you. And then per month while you're still enrolled in school and you're still actively participating in team activities. You don't get all of that at the front. So it's a monthly deal.
And I guess then your argument would be on the player side of, well, you're paying me up to a certain point and I fulfilled my obligations during that time period. So if I leave now, well, then just stop the monthly installments and we're all good to go.
Right.
I guess that's their perspective.
And the one thing I will give major kudos to Auburn, whatever's going on behind the scenes with Chad Baker-Mazara, you're not having that play out on social media or being played out on fan websites. Now, people on message boards might have their fun, but in regards to people that cover the team on a daily basis, you're not getting a blow by blow of what is being said, he said, she said, from the Baker-Mazara camp and the Auburn camp. I think Auburn's camp feels pretty confident that we had a signed document, and at the end of the day, wherever you end up, Chad Baker,
there is a specific amount of money that we expect to be repaid.
And if you don't repay it, then obviously this thing's going to get escalated to another level. Meanwhile, in Arkansas, this is just my opinion, but I think at Arkansas, they're playing to the fan base because the fan base is pissed off.
Yeah. As they should be.
Because the fan base is like going, okay, we did everything right on our end. We gave money to this kid. And now he basically tucked tail and running back to the West Coast and makes us look stupid. And so, we want our share of discipline on this. We want our money back. And so that's why Hunter Yurachek, who is never short of saber rattling and releasing these grandiose statements to his fan base, and that's what he did yesterday.
It's about the optics.
Well, and we were told early on, compared to some of the other SEC schools like Auburn, Alabama, you can name those where their collectives are relatively healthy in regards to football. Arkansas had struggled a little bit.
But I also find it ironic because Arkansas had one of the highest NIL basketball teams in the whole land this last year. And so now they're crying over, again, it's a lot of money to me, but it's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of college football now of paying somebody $250,000 to be on your football team.
I'm trying to put myself in one of those big wigs out in Arkansas that's a big supporter. If you've got $1 million that you've already decided with your family or yourself that you're going to appropriate to the Razorback collective, do you feel like you can make more of an impact with that basketball roster? Probably so.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Another thing that's no doubt, and that is Courtesy GMC in Trussville. Now's the time to check out Courtesy GMC in Trussville. The very best in inventory and service is found right off of I-459 exit 32 at Courtesy GMC. Right now, you could save up to $14,500 off on a brand new Sierra 1500 truck. How about a 2024 GMC Hummer EV or a Sierra EV model, 0% APR for 60 months for well-qualified buyers. The inventory at Courtesy is outstanding with plenty of models to choose from, like the Yukons, Acadias, Terrains, trucks from the Sierra and Canyon, and their pre-owned inventory is the deepest you're going to find anywhere in central Alabama. Courtesy will beat any deal on any new GMC. They're the lowest priced dealer you're going to find in the state of Alabama. You don't need to go anywhere for a brand new GMC except there in Trussville, right off of I-459 exit 32, or check out their inventory at Courtesy Birmingham
We've got our Vegas insider, Brian Edwards. He's going to join us at 10:45. You never want to miss that. Top of the hour, Skip Holtz, Birmingham Stallions, getting ready to return to Protective Stadium as they're going to host the Showboats coming up on Friday. Three-man front continues on this Wednesday. It's Jocks 94.5.
Coming up about 10 minutes from now, we will talk to our good friend Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider, get his thoughts on some plays coming up in the NBA playoffs. He has been extremely good at that over the course of the last few weeks. We'll get his thoughts on tonight's games.
Well, tomorrow is the day, the big day. Yes, it's the NFL draft, but it's also our draft party at Trim Tab Brewing. Pat and myself, we will be there from 6 to 8 tomorrow night at Trim Tab for their NFL draft party. So come by and see us. Like I said, from 6 to 8, come and get some great beer. Red Mountain Crawfish will be there. Also, Tub the Band will be there from 7 to 10. So once again, that's tomorrow night from 6 to 8 at Trim Tab Brewing.
So yesterday, the College Football Playoff Committee, they announced the game times and the dates for this year's 2025-26 College Football Playoff. And the most interesting thing that came out of it yesterday was that the Rose Bowl will now start an hour earlier than its traditional window, and it's now going to kick off at 3 o'clock Central Time as part of the New Year's Day triple header of the College Football Playoff quarterfinals on the ESPN. It will be the earliest kickoff time in the bowl game's California history. Since 1916, the kickoff has been early afternoon LA time. The reason being is because they want the fourth quarter to be dusk there on the San Gabriel Mountains, right there at the Rose Bowl. But now, because of the new contract with ESPN and because of the way the college football playoff schedule has worked out, they have now moved it up an hour. So not really sure if you're going to get that great sunset that you're so used to seeing. The only other times that the game has not been kicked off at its traditional late afternoon was back when the national championship game for the BCS and for the college football playoff dictated that the game times would be a 7 o'clock Central Time kickoff. So, but since 1916, they've had the same kickoff time for the granddaddy of them all.
I wouldn't put it past the Rose Bowl, some kind of conspiracy where they have some kind of delay out there.
And
where they make sure that they get that sunset fourth quarter.
It's very important to them.
They're fixed in their ways.
Just so that we could hear Kirk Herbstreit just start crying and talking about how incredible it is. This view is the most, it's just sickening. Get tired of it. I wish they'd play it in Arlington like they did a few years ago when Notre Dame and Alabama played there for the Rose Bowl.
I'm like you. I'm a little bitter towards the Rose Bowl and their whole pandemic stance.
Whatever.
Well, it was not even during the pandemic. The pandemic had ended, and they just kept their stance.
The place is a dump.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, the view is great, but it's a dump. You're going there this year, right? You've
I
never
hope so.
been?
No, never been.
You're going to love that dump.
Oh, I'm excited. Well, Nebraska will be in the dump.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to that game?
I'm trying to.
Get Nico's autograph.
That's
Did
right.
you run out of the tunnel for this one?
Yeah, we'll see if we can pay for you to. I still didn't get the $1,000 back, so I'm still $1,000 in the hole. But I'll pay
Maybe
again.
we can borrow from Nico.
I'll pay again if you want to run out the tunnel.
Dylan or Nico, who has more yards passing that day?
Baby Mahomes.
Yes. Baby Mahomes.
I'm just catering to Molly. I don't know.
It'll be right. Though.
It'll be interesting to hear you compare and contrast the Coliseum and the Rose Bowl.
I like the Coliseum. I thought it was neat.
Well, they've done a lot of work. I mean, they're going to host
liked it.
another Olympics there. They've hosted like 5 of them. So
Yeah.
they
It's
put
pretty empty.
put a couple shillings in that building.
You'll appreciate the Rose Bowl just from the history.
Yeah, and that's why I want to go.
And Pasadena is a beautiful,
It
beautiful
is.
area.
The drive-in is nice.
Yeah,
very
it's just
nice.
the actual stadium itself.
The stadium itself.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
if you're looking for all the amenities that
They still have the troughs in the bathroom.
I don't remember because I was
Surely not. At this
I hit
point.
I don't think I think I just used the porta johns.
I was about to say, if you're about to tell us that you didn't use the bathroom
I was about
at
to say,
all
there's
in the Rose
no
Bowl,
way.
there's
I
there's
used
no chance.
I used the porta johns.
Okay.
And they had the guy stand outside with a towelette, right? When you came out of the portalets.
No, you better bring your hand sanny.
Did you get locked in one there like you did at Rickwood?
No, I didn't get locked in one. Somebody stole my beer.
You got stuck in it one
Wait
time.
a second. You got your beer stolen at Rickwood.
Rickwood.
That's what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Rose Bowl.
No, he got his drink stolen. And then when we were doing the show there, he got like locked in at one time or something. Didn't you? So you
No.
got stuck?
No,
Yeah, you definitely got stuck.
I did not get. I would remember getting stuck in a porta john,
I think you got stuck.
especially on a hot day in June.
I know. That's why I remembered it.
You were mistaking me for somebody else.
Maybe I got stuck. I can't.
It might have been
I
you.
can't remember.
Speaking of portalets, you remember the audio we played yesterday of Shaquille O'Neal? Do you remember that? When
Oh, yeah.
Shaquille had to skip off the set there on TNT.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what they did for him last night?
I was watching part of it. I remember when they were replaying it.
Did they present him the world's largest diaper?
No, what they did is literally they put a portalette right
Oh,
next
yeah,
to
I saw that.
on
yeah.
the studio.
Yeah.
And then he actually went in there like during the broadcast.
Did he?
Yeah. They had his mic on.
Ugh.
There's a reason why I didn't bring it up yesterday when it came to my mind. I was just that whole thing with Shaq. That's why I say you just blow up the bathroom.
It happens.
I mean, large human beings, they have to go, but I can't imagine.
Oh, yeah. No.
I don't want to imagine, but for some reason my mind keeps going there like, oh my.
No, that bowl's
That would be
cracked.
really, really bad.
Yeah, that bowl's cracked.
Do you have to have a larger toilet if you're that big?
You're asking the wrong guy.
That's a good question.
You should have asked
I bet
some of those ladies you ran into.
It'd
at
be the
beach this
equivalent of you
weekend.
walking into a kindergarten class and sitting in one of their chairs.
I bet at his
didn't hear me, did they?
house.
No, but I did.
I know. Thank you for laughing.
I bet at his house he has custom.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Something that's more like a lazy boy.
Yes. Oh, that'd be nice. That'd actually be really nice. Prop your feet up. That'd be nice.
Commode comfort.
That's right. So does this mean that you watched the NBA last night, Pat?
No, God, no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. No.
I was like, wow, you were watching the Lakers game too? That's
Heavens, no. I'm not watching that filth.
No, I did not. I was watching the A's and the Rangers.
A's are actually not doing that bad.
That place is a dump. You want to talk about dumping?
They've got
That place is terrible.
what's
Sacramento?
his name? They got that kid. He's leading the league in home runs. I can't remember his name
That place
right
is that's worse than watching a game at Coors Field with people. I mean, hitting home runs left and right. Rangers and A's. It was like, wow. First time that I've ever sat down and paid close attention to a game there this year, and I was extremely unimpressed.
So
Now,
the Buffalo Stadium or the Blue Jays played much nicer.
I would take that.
Yeah.
Every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Steinbrenner Field. Like when I'm watching the Rays play, maybe it's because I'm used to seeing only 10,000 people show up for a Rays game anyway.
Looks normal.
It looks completely normal.
Yeah.
And plus, Steinbrenner Field's one of the nicest.
Oh, Steinbrenner Field's
spring
beautiful.
training facilities.
I would play there all the time.
But this crap in Sacramento, that's a joke.
now. Only the best. Yeah, it's not great.
That's
Did you see where you can buy parts of the Tropicana roof for $15?
really.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Where can I get that?
Assuming it didn't sell out, but
Pat, grab me one too.
yeah, one of the Brian Hoach, one of the Yankees reporters, he bought it and he posted a picture. But yeah, he bought a piece of Tropicana Field for $15.
You would put it in a display frame or use it as a pocket square when you wear a sport coat.
Yeah.
Be good.
Bet you never know where I got this.
That's right.
Speaking of like ugly stadiums and the old Homer Dome, the Metrodome, I saw a video today and I was going to send it to you, but I got busy and I didn't have time to. And me not being a Braves fan, but watching this video clip of the World Series when Kent
Herbeck
when he picked up
picked up
Ron
Gant.
Gant,
Yeah. It was a joke, man.
and they did not overturn that.
Huh.
That was a complete
Yeah.
and utter disgrace
Yep.
of umpiring.
I agree.
That was really bad. And then, of course, finding out later on that when they played the Cardinals in the 87 World Series, and later when they played the Braves, they turned the air conditioning on. You know, that happened to be pushing the airflow to the outfield when the Twins were batting.
Bunch of cheaters.
Yeah. They were the precursor of the Houston
Yeah.
Astros.
Yeah, they invented it.
So I think the Cardinals and the
Despicable.
Braves should claim World Series championships those years.
We're better than that, Pat.
So I can buy that on eBay right now.
Yeah, for $24.
24, I thought it was 15. I'm not paying 24 bucks.
Oh,
for
they're
that.
already on the
I'm about to say
resale
they're already
market.
on the resale, yeah.
But see, that looks like just a piece
Not-
of paper.
I know it does.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Turn it around.
it's not going to be anything impressive.
No, it's just a
Yeah, that's cool.
white square.
It is
Pocket
absolutely
square.
not something anyone would ever recognize. You would have to
No.
tell them. I swear this is from Tropicana Field
There's
because yeah, they're
12
going to think
bids.
it's.
You better get on it.
There's 12 bids on it.
Yeah.
So you just can't buy it outright. You got to bid. I'll bid.
yeah, you got to
I'll
bid.
go in there and bid. What do you want to bid, Landrum? $150?
Where's the bidding start?
$24.50.
150?
Let's start at 24.55.
Let's go 150. Let's see if we can like kind of get this up a little bit.
If nobody comes back, I don't want to go halvesies on that.
Come on. Live a little bit. It's the only type of gambling we can have in the state of Alabama.
Now, if you had the Denver airport, that roof that they have out there, if you had some of that.
That's that demonic roof though, isn't it? Isn't that weird airport?
Well, yeah,
I hate the Denver airport.
There's a documentary on the underground and a lot of conspiracies
and the Bronco
around
lasers on the eyes of the
the demon
horse.
Bronco, the goblins that are there in the airport.
Yeah, there's weird stuff going on there.
Here you go. So if you want to get it firsthand, you have to go to a Rays game. They're selling them at Steinbrenner Field is where you can buy it.
Okay, and so then these people are putting it on eBay.
Correct. So
Okay.
you can buy part of the roof for $15, or you can buy parts of the catwalk that broke for $30.
See, parts of the catwalk I think would be cooler.
Okay, I'm gonna bid on this. I will bid on this during the
I'll
break.
send you the link.
Okay, send me the link.
You want that instead of the catwalk?
Yeah, I want the roof.
Okay.
That will go in the section of my man cave of where I have the Boise turf.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
I have the Boise turf and the hedge from Athens in a little corner, and I can add the roof tile.
And the sand from the bunker at Augusta that Landrum got you that one year.
Shh, we're not supposed to talk about that.
I also ordered you, and it hasn't arrived yet, but I'm guessing it's just because it's coming from overseas. I got you a vial of the Sin, River Sin.
Sweet. And I do no lie, I do have the infield dirt from Rickwood from the Cardinals and Giants.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
You got the hedges from Sanford Stadium.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this will go good. And I got the seats from Busch Stadium too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've got some stadium stuff. All right, coming up next, Vegas Insiders Brian Edwards will join the show. We'll talk a little NBA playoffs. That's all next on 3 Man Front.
10:53 man front on this Wednesday. Brian Edwards, our Vegas insider, joining us momentarily. How about our friends at Dobbs Ford? You can join them right there on Parkway East. Dobbs Ford, Alabama's largest showroom selection. And right now, you're going to get employee pricing. That's right. You're going to pay what the employees pay. Also, 90 days until your first payment. They'll beat any competitor's price. Check them out, DobbsFordBirmingham.com. You're going to get wonderful customer service. They're going to treat you like they've known you forever. Dobbs Ford, the Goshens, wonderful folks. Just mentioned Jocks 94.5. Tell them I sent you. They've taken care of all of the Jocks listeners that have responded back and given us the feedback that have taken me up on the offer just to go out there, and they've decided to pull the trigger, and they've sent me some of those beautiful Broncos, F-150s, Explorers that they've purchased, Mustangs, a lot of those in inventory as well. DobbsFordBirmingham.com. Go see and feel the difference. Dobbs Ford, make sure you tell them Landrum from Three Man Front sent you.
Joining us now on the Higginbotham hotline from Vegas Insider, joining us now, Brian Edwards. Brian, I hope you're doing well on this beautiful Wednesday.
I am, fellas. What's happening? Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, we're just hanging out, talking a little ball and NBA playoffs. And this is an area that I know you have been a rock star for many, many years. You follow the NBA as close, and you're as successful with the NBA than anybody that I follow on social media. So tell us what you like so far with this NBA playoffs, and give us some winners.
All right. So, well, I had the Pistons in the first two games, had an 8-point lead in the fourth quarter of game one, and Knicks go on a 21-0 run and end up covering. So that was a tough beat, but I came right back with them on the money line and plus 6.5 on Monday night and hit both of those. And I'm going right back to them again, +1 tomorrow night at home to the Knicks in game 3. And right now, Detroit has won 4 of the last 5 head-to-head meetings with the Knicks, both straight up and against the spread. And Pistons star Cade Cunningham has been the main reason why. In the 5-game stretch where Detroit's 4-1, he's averaged 31 points, 8.4 assists, 6.4 rebounds per game, and shot 52.7% from the field. He had 33 points and 12 boards on Monday, and the Knicks just don't have any answer for him. In those 5 games, 4 of them were at MSG. The one in Detroit, the Pistons won 115-106 as 3.5-point favorites. They're a 1-point dog here. I like the Pistons +1 tomorrow night at home to the Knicks.
How about the Boston Celtics taking on the Orlando Magic? See that you might be interested in a little money line parlay when it comes to that game and maybe some games coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'm going to start the parlay. It's a 3-legger. Didn't pay a good return, just +126. But I'm going to go Boston, which is -535, and then Oklahoma City tomorrow night at Memphis. OKC's won 11 in a row over the Grizzlies. And then to close it out, the Clippers late night tomorrow at home to Denver. So that's Boston, OKC, and the Clippers. 3-leg money line parlay for a +126 payout. And I also I'm going to lay the points on the Thunder tomorrow night, laying 8.5 at Memphis. Like I said, they've won 11 in a row over the Grizzlies. They've won all of the meetings this year, which is now 6, and they've won them by margins of 19, 51, 21, 17, 13, and 24. And during the 11-game winning streak over Memphis, the OKC is 10-1 against the spread. And Memphis has been horrible at home going back to February 8th, only 6-10 straight up, 3-13 against the spread. 6 of the losses by 9 points or more, which I point out since they're an 8.5-point dog. But of the 6 home wins for Memphis going back to February 8th, only 1 over a team in the playoffs, and that is the Heat, who are, what are they, an 8 seed or 7 seed? I'm not sure. Anyway, Memphis not good at home. OKC -8.5 tomorrow.
Okay. And in regards to what's happened to your Atlanta Hawks franchise, I know you're a Hawks fan, and they're starting to kind of clean house a little bit. What's going on with these Atlanta teams that you root for? The Falcons, the Hawks. I'm glad to see your Gators won a national championship in basketball, but what's up with the Falcons franchise? Because it just seems like to me that they're, had a couple good years, but now kind of stagnant. What's your prognosis for that team, for those that pull for the Hawks?
Well, I am okay if they just blow the whole thing up. I'm okay with keeping Trey. I'm okay with trading him. As for the Falcons, horrible GM, horrible owner. Arthur Blank was fantastic for a decade. The last decade or so, he's been awful, terrible hires. Lets Rich McKay run the franchise from outside of the public eye. GM makes horrible decisions. He'll probably go offense again tomorrow night, even though we've needed defense for a decade. There you go. Is that about sum it up?
No.
So you don't go to Home Depot for your home improvement needs. Is that what you're telling us?
No, I can't stand Arthur Blank. I used to love him, but not anymore.
Well, in regards to the rest of the NBA playoffs, so do you have any future tickets right now in regards to anybody that you would recommend that we look at?
The only future ticket, it's not to win the title. It's I got Detroit plus 320 to win the series. But you know what? They're plus 175 now, so you're missing out. I would just take Detroit plus 1 tomorrow night. If they lose tomorrow night, I would be interested in buying a Detroit ticket if it gets back up to plus 300.
Brian, thank you so much.
Oh, well,
Glad you didn't talk smack about my Braves.
Let me sneak in for your UFC fans.
Yes.
Ian Gary in the main event, minus 135 on Saturday night, and a 3-leg parlay, Randy Brown, Michelle Piella, and Ian Gary plus 346 payout.
Oh, 346 payout?
Yes. Pereira, Gary, and Brown, UFC Kansas City, Saturday night.
Eyebrows raised in studio. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, gentlemen. See ya.
Ryan Edwards. From the UFC, we go to the UFL. Skip Holtz Stallions next.
It is 11 o'clock, hour number 2 of Three Man Front. Landrum, Molly, Conrad, Pat, with you until 2 o'clock. We'll talk to the head football coach of the Birmingham Stallions coming up momentarily. A little bit of transfer portal news. Former Miami and Arizona cornerback Emmanuel Carnley is set to visit Auburn this week. The 6'3" Carnley ranks as the second best available cornerback in the transfer portal. So he will visit Auburn this week. So that has been a revolving door so far in this spring portal on the defensive side for Auburn. They got a lot of depth there, and some of that depth have left in the transfer portal. So once again, multiple reports are saying that former Miami and Arizona cornerback Emmanuel Carnley is set to visit Auburn later this week. Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline, the head football coach of the Birmingham Stallions, Coach Skip Holtz. I bet, Coach, you don't worry about that transfer portal anymore or have to deal with any of that drama that goes on now in college football. I bet you don't miss those days.
No, I'm listening to that news and thought, you know what? I'm so glad I'm not dealing with that mess right now. I mean, it has certainly changed the landscape of college football from year to year. And so I said, everybody's got a new team every year, and it is just I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to get their arms around it and kind of rein it in a little bit to where there's a little bit more rules and regulations on how much everybody's leaving.
Well, Landrum and I, we've gotten to know you off the air, and we've had all these different conversations about the college game, and we agree with you 100%. It's just crazy right now what's going on. But before we talk about the Stallions and what's coming up this week at home, I do want to go down one more question in regards to the transfer portal. The people that you still talk to in the college game, the people that you used to coach with, and just the people that you know, like, what are they saying to you? Are they just pulling their hair out on a daily basis, just talking about the stress level of trying to maintain their rosters in the transfer portal?
Yeah, I think, yes, everybody says it's crazy. It's so different than anything that we've had or what we've done. But at the same time, it's change. And these are I won't even say these are what the rules are. These are what the laws are. Because a lot of these were passed through lawsuits. So this is the rules that we got to play by, and change. Nobody likes change, but college football has certainly changed, and you got to learn to deal with the new landscape. You've got to get in. The money situation has become the huge part of it. How to balance your monies, whether that is monies that's being distributed through the revenue sharing, or whether that's monies being distributed through the NIL. And it's just every year, you're going to lose some of your better players because somebody's going to offer them more than you're willing to offer them. And so I think until they get some kind of salary cap or something in place, everybody's just leaving to try and go to the highest bidder, and everybody's trying to get what they can get, which I don't blame them under the current structure of how it is right now. If somebody's son or daughter was out there and you're going to make a couple $100,000 more by going to another school, many of them are going to make that decision, because we're not talking about $100 difference. You're talking about large amounts of money are starting to exchange hands with all this. So it is, I don't think anybody is in love with it. Nobody has said, oh my gosh, this new system is great. I don't think anybody's in love with it, but that's what college football is today. And that's, if you can sit and complain about it and get passed up, or you can roll up your sleeves and say, what do we got to do to compete? And that's what all the schools around the country are trying to do, is trying to find out what are what's on the cutting edge and how's everybody doing this to try and manage your roster. But it is certainly more stressful than it's ever been, because you don't know who you're going to have on your roster the next year. So once you start fall camp, then you can kind of take a deep breath, and at least you know who you have on your team for that upcoming season. But during the off season, it is recruiting 24/7 the entire off season.
Coach Skip Holtz joining us here on Three Man Front. All of our guests join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Congratulations, Coach. You make it 3 consecutive with a win over Houston last weekend. Third straight game. Your offensive line does not surrender a sack. Just your overall 30,000-foot view and recapping the win that you had there in Houston last weekend.
Well, anytime you can win, it's exciting. I mean, this is pro ball. Anybody can beat anybody. As evidenced last week, you had a 3-0 undefeated DC team that beat us the first week of the season, lost to an 0-3 team. And so, I mean, everybody's got talent, that where you have the rules and regulations and the drafts, and the talent gets very evenly distributed in professional ball. But I was proud of the way our players, the way they fought, the way they competed, what they did. Thought there were a lot of bright spots. I mean, for sure, in being able to win the game. But you look at defensively, I think we gave up probably a few more yards than we have in the past. But I thought defensively they did a great job at the end of the half, at the end of the game in our 2-minute situation. I thought they did a really good job with that. Defensively, they had 2 sudden changes. We turned the ball over at the 37 and the 25, and they got 0 points out of it. Did not score in the fourth quarter. I think just a lot of positives. And offensively, I think we just keep getting better. We have improved in what we're doing production-wise, yards-wise, points-wise, almost every week. The first half, we had almost 250 yards at halftime. Really good on third down. We rushed for 5 yards a carry. The running game is starting to come along, like you talked about. We threw the ball 30 times, had no sacks, had a 30 for 30, had a 2-minute drive to go down and score right before the half when we hit Deion Kane down the sideline. So a lot of positive things in this game. I think our special teams are playing really well. And, after the first game, and I've said this before, I would rather lose the first and win the rest than win the first and lose the rest. I mean, with where we were, I thought that opening game against DC was a great wake-up call for us. I think our football team has really come together. I think they're getting better and better, and that was the battle cry. It's like, look, we're not where we want to be. We just got to keep improving and keep getting better. And if we can keep doing that as a football team, the wins will take care of themselves. And I think, there's still some things we got to clean up. We got to do a better job protecting the football, and we got to clean up the penalties because we got too many of those. But there's a lot of good things going on this team right now, and I think they're really starting to come together with how they're performing on the field.
Coach, could you update us on the health of Matt Corral and what it looks like for this week's game against Memphis?
Yeah, I mean, Matt is probably very doubtful for this game. This week, he took an injury. He took a midsection injury that right now is kind of holding him down. He hasn't practiced a whole lot, but I think he's getting better and better. He will be there. He will be available, but right now I don't really know what's going to happen, but I think it's going to be very difficult for him to play. We're going to learn more when we go to practice today, and he's making huge strides every day. And it's not so much an injury as it is just soreness right now that's preventing him from playing. So right now, I mean, we saw a little bit of Case Cookus came in and threw just a great ball on third down, backed up, which was a huge play in that win. And so you've got Case Cookus and you've got Andrew Peasley, who was a guy that, 2 weeks ago he got here. So he is just learning what he's doing. I think both of them have had a lot of work this week, and injuries are part of the game, unfortunately. And so it looks like if we've got to play Case Cookus, I feel really good. I think he's got a good grasp on the offense and what we're doing. He came to camp late, but he's probably about 10 days late to camp, but he's a very intelligent player. And he's played a lot of football and he's won a lot of games as a starting quarterback. So his experience will be invaluable in a situation like this.
Coach, what can you tell us about the opponent, the Memphis Showboats rolling into town?
Right now it's kind of the similar situation we talked about. About last week's game with Memphis. With DC and with San Antonio. They're 0-4 right now, but they have been a very competitive football team when you look at them defensively and how they're built. They have really done a nice job. They held DC to 7 points. They lose to Houston 17-18. They lose to DC 17-12. They've been in their football games. They have a really talented defensive roster, and they're doing some really good things. They're making some plays on offense. Their quarterback runs around with the ball a little bit, presents some problems, but I think that it's going to be a great showdown. I'm looking forward to not only the game, but I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to play in Birmingham. Here we've played 4 games already, and we've only been in Birmingham once. Which, as much as you look at that and go, "Yeah, I hate that," but the encouraging thing to that is out of the last 6, we get to play 4 at home, and so we're going to have an opportunity to have home field advantage here in the second half of the season as we go through this. But really excited to come back and play in Birmingham. And it's so great to see all the people and the interest and the excitement that so many of the groups have that support the Stallions. I want to see it grow. I would love to see attendance continue to climb. I know last week we had quite a bit of rain right before the game started, but I would love to see the attendance continue to climb because the people that are there are passionate about what they do, and they make noise and they make a difference. And shoot, they helped bring home the win a couple weeks ago when we were home by really encouraging the defense, which I thought was just it was fun to see. So excited to be back home this week.
All right. Before we let you go, I got to ask you about your kicker that hit from 35, 48, and 50 yards. And you made it a point in your postgame press conference over the weekend in Houston that the thicka kicker, he is coming through big for you so far.
No, he's done a great job. And, during the off season, that was, I think you get a little bit spoiled when you have a guy like Brandon Aubrey and the job that he did for us for 2 years. And we just felt like, we needed to improve at that position. And you look at, he's just done a great job. He's a phenomenal young man. He's done a great job. He's handled pressure. He's one of the leading scorers in the SEC history. He kicked for Missouri for 5 years. He's won a lot of football games. He's got a lot of experience. I think he's got the talent and the ability to kick at the next level. And I'm just excited to see the way that he's playing the game mentally right now. And he's in a really good place. He's playing with a lot of confidence and doing a really nice job. So I'm glad he's on our side because in some of these close football games we've had, we have certainly needed him.
Coach, we can't thank you enough for spending some time with us each and every week here on the program, giving us a status report and, of course, a preview of the upcoming game this Friday night. Hope to see you. Hope another win. Big crowd at Protective Stadium. Always appreciate it, Coach. Good luck with prep this week.
Thanks, Coach.
No, I always enjoyed being with you guys. I appreciate the time today. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Skip. Appreciate it very much. That's Coach Skip
Bye
Holtz joining us here on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, the places you can get your pregame on for the Stallions taking on the Showboats coming up on Friday. Well, it's Rambler Sports Bar and Grill. I'll tell you about it all the time. They're open for lunch and for dinner, though, right now. So you can go and you can drive through. You can get lunch or you can call ahead. Parking is absolutely free. They got a pretty good deal there. They'll validate the parking, so you don't have to worry about that. It's Rambler Sports Bar and Grill. They have a 283-inch projector screen, but they have video boards all across the place that you can enjoy your favorite sports entertainment, award-winning menu, and great drinks as well. It's Rambler Sports Bar and Grill, 1630 2nd Avenue South, near Railroad Park. Get in there today for lunch, tonight for dinner, all the way through Sunday night, and make sure you get in there before the Stallions take on the Showboats coming up on Friday.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll go up to Nashville, Tennessee. We'll find out what the Tennessee Titans are thinking. We'll talk to Gentry Estes from the Tennessean, who covers the Titans. They've got the number one pick in tomorrow night's draft in Green Bay. All that on a very busy edition of Three-Man Front End Studio, Jocks 94.5. 11:17, Jocks 94.5 on this Wednesday. A few minutes to the end of our interviews. Brian Edwards, Vegas Insider. You just heard from Skip Holtz. Home game coming up Friday night against the Memphis Showboats. So we'll see if the Birmingham Stallions get a big crowd at Protective Stadium and continue their winning ways. You know, now's the right time for you to talk about the health and safety of your trees in your yard. We had some heavy storms, over 3 inches of rain yesterday, heavy storms coming through central Alabama. And if you had an issue in your yard, if you had a tree come down, you got limbs down, you're going to have bigger problems as we get into more heavy storms throughout the spring. You need to call Golston Tree Service, 205-337-4018. Golston Tree Service is run by a certified arborist. Whether it's a big job or a small job, from trimming to tree removal to grinding out the stump and hauling everything away, Golston Tree Service, they can take care of you. They also offer 24-hour emergency stormwork service at 205-337-4018. You need to call Golston today and let them give you a free assessment on any potential issues that you have coming down the road, especially if you got some pine trees in your backyard, because you know these heavy winds, pine trees are the first ones to go down. So give them a call at 205-337-4018. That is Golston Tree Service. Before Coach Skip Holtz came on, just want to remind everybody about the news just came out just a couple minutes ago that former Miami and Arizona cornerback Emmanuel Carnley is set to visit Auburn this week. The 6'3" Carnley ranks as the second best available cornerback in the transfer portal. So we continue to hear news, Landrum, that Auburn is still being active in the transfer portal. Meanwhile, still extremely quiet in Tuscaloosa. The people that I talk to in Tuscaloosa, they basically say, man, it's outside the tight ends. It's pretty quiet. So I don't know how you want to take that from an Alabama perspective. Is it, okay, we're all good, we love the roster, and everybody's singing Kumbaya and they're ready to get into fall camp and go steam ahead? Or is this Alabama football team kind of playing things close to the vest right now and not really letting everybody know what they're really thinking?
Yeah, it must be. I guess you feel good about it with the lack of turnover. Like he feels set, likes his team.
Do you feel
everybody's
good because
bought
of that,
in?
Conrad?
You feel good, Conrad? Come on, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the reality is, right, there's definitely holes on the roster, and if you had guys that you thought could come in and be a starter.
Where's the biggest
or
hole in the
contribute-
roster for you right now? What position group?
Tight end or
Quarterback.
tight end or offensive line.
Tackle, interior? What are you talking about on the line?
If tight ends are
I
your
think you need-
biggest concern, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would want another tackle to come in just because, like, all right, I am choosing to give Wilkin Formby the benefit of the doubt
Why?
because I have to.
Okay.
And so
Well, I just wanted to know
because
why.
I have to. But having more depth at that spot would be good because I know, like, I'm not worried about at Roberts at guard. You have Vandermark and the guy Dewberry from A&M, so you got some guys at guard. But I would like one more tackle to feel better about what you got there with Proctor and Formby. So that would probably be my choice. But again, I look at it as if you had a lot of guys getting in the portal and you're not bringing anybody out of it, I would be concerned. But the fact that you're not having anybody leave the program, I'm chalking that up to they feel pretty good about who they've got there, and they don't see anybody immediately that could come in and start or, be a big rotational piece for them next year.
It's been interesting watching the Auburn situation on defense, especially in the secondary, because the area that I was told leading into the transfer portal was the defensive line, and they have addressed the depth on the defensive line, but they had a lot of guys on the roster from a secondary standpoint. And so some of those 2 and 3 guys on the depth chart, they have since gone into the transfer portal, but Auburn's done a really nice job of being able to go out and kind of replacing those guys. But I mean, you've got a guy now with some really good experience from a Power 4 standpoint from Miami and Arizona now in the mix of coming to visit Auburn. So obviously Auburn is extremely interested in Emmanuel Carnley. And so we'll see if that will end up being another piece that they add to the puzzle.
Yeah, on 3, they put out their post-spring depth chart projections for Auburn. And for the secondary's sake, looking at that, they've got at the nickel, Champ Anthony, Anquan Fagans at one of the safeties, Caleb Harris at the other safety, Kayan Lee at one of the corners, and then Jay Crawford at the other. But when you look at defensive line, they've got Kerryon Crawford listed as the number 1 edge, Malik Blockton as one of the defensive tackles, nose guard, Bobby Jamison Travis. But right after him, they've got Jay Hardy, the guy that they just got back from Liberty. And then the 5 technique, they've got Keldrick, Falk, Amaris Williams, and then Jared Smith, the kid from Alabaster out of Thompson. So it looks like, and based on that conversation you had, that was prior to some of these additions, some of those depth chart pieces kind of fell into place. So I don't know if apparently they're still looking at secondary help.
Yeah. Yep.
Never have enough of those guys.
No, you sure can't. So the transfer portal is a shorter window here in the spring than it is in the winter. So teams, if you are doing some shopping or some guys want to get into the portal, I think that is it bodes for you, Conrad, from a quarterback position that Mac is not in the portal, that I would think that would signify that quarterback room is going to be intact throughout the summer and in the fall. And
that's been a nice surprise. I was not expecting that. I don't think any of us were really, but I mean, we talked about it, right? If you're in a situation where you feel like, okay, you can stay in Tuscaloosa, continue to develop with the coaches that know you and you seem to have a good relationship with, and then if you decide to go in the portal in the winter when there's more options available to you, I don't think that's the worst idea, right? And you never know. As we all know, you're one play away, one injury away from potentially being the starting quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So I think that's something that is worth sticking around for. I'm happy about it from a depth standpoint, no doubt about it. But portal closes on Friday, so looking good right now.
Yeah, because whether it was Rodney or other people that we talked to around the Alabama program on this show, they've told us that it was about a 50-50 situation with Austin Mack.
I had some people that made it seem like it was a lot more likely that he was going to be gone than that.
Well, I was told leading into the spring practice that they felt pretty confident that he was going to go into the transfer portal.
Yep.
That was before spring. Now, could have something happened in the spring that gave him the optimism in regards to maybe him being in Kalen DeBoer's system a whole season more than Keelan Russell, that they gave him the thought process that I might be the number 2 guy.
Yep.
Behind Ty Simpson.
That's the way that it seems right now. And
Ty Simpson was solid in the spring. Ty Simpson is not going to wow you like Tua Tagovailoa. He's not going to wow you by throwing for 450 yards and stuff like that. But I'm not saying he's a game manager, but he is an extremely smart quarterback, and he is able to not put you. He's not going to make the.
He's not going to turn the ball over a lot.
No, he's not going to make those throws that. Maybe it's a tight window. He's going to check down as opposed to go ahead and rolling the dice and trying to throw one in there.
No, because he doesn't have the arm talent that a guy like an Austin Mack does. And you know how, right? They want to make those throws because they are confident they can make any throw, and sometimes that puts them in danger. But no, I think they're in a pretty good spot right now.
11-win season coming up, right?
Minimum. That's a floor. I don't think they're going 12-0, Pat. I mean, come on, Tennessee. What are they doing?
Tennessee's now
above
a 500 team.
Tennessee, we've changed our projection now. Alabama beats Tennessee.
LSU, not happening.
Did you have Tennessee beating Alabama in Bryant-Denny?
Of course. With Nico? No, I didn't. I'm doing that for Conrad's sake.
I'm more worried about Florida State than Tennessee.
You should be. You should be.
I probably should be now.
You're worried about Gus, aren't you?
Oh, Gus.
Are you and FSU Dave still heading down there?
Yeah, we are. We're working on the RV rental right now, so we're trying to go ahead and, it's nice when you go ahead and pay for things up front, so then when the event comes, you're like, oh, it's a free trip almost because you forgot that.
Are you guys really working on the RV?
Well, yeah, isn't Don and Damien going too? Aren't they driving?
No, well, they're going, and Don's driving us, and then he's going to drop me and Dave off in Tallahassee. Then he's coming back up here with the RV to pick up Damien.
And they're going to Waco.
And they're going to Waco for the Baylor game.
That's
and they're going
right.
to spend the night over there.
Oh, yeah, because that's right. Because I got Paul because they're doing the SEC. They're going to film them going to Waco in the hopes of making that into a football series during the season.
Yes.
In regards to like Damien and Don travel around the Southeastern Conference to different football venues.
Correct. Like Marty and McGee, but
better.
But yeah, D&D.
For Damien's
I don't know.
sake, how far is that drive to Waco?
It's about, I've actually made it before. It is about 10 and a half
seems
hours.
about right.
Okay.
It's a long one. I mean, granted, the trip to Tallahassee is not short either.
Crimson Convict is saying that he has an RV.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then we're going to have to
That
call
would
him.
be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun. You
So
can do
you-
poetry the whole time. It'd be great. I miss those.
So Crimson Convict, you, FSU Dave, Damien, and Don Don.
No. These are separate trips.
This would be like
You're trying
the
to
scene
combine the
from
trips.
Anchorman 2.
where they wreck the RV and everything's flying.
When he's got the chimichangas in the deep fryer as they're going down the road and he puts it on cruise control
Who's
or
Brick?
autopilot.
Who's Brick?
Who's Brick?
So how good are things going in Chapel Hill right now? Well, Bubba Cunningham, who is the North Carolina AD, he has just announced that they have sold out their entire season ticket allotment for the football season. So that has never happened before for North Carolina football. They have sold out every single season ticket. And as of right now, they're selling single game tickets, and those are going fast. So you might be looking at complete sellouts for every single home game in Chapel Hill.
It worked for Colorado. They sold their games out. If you hire him, they will come.
Apparently so. Cardinals early lead over the Braves in the first inning. Nolan Arenado double to deep left center. Cards on top 1-0.
Yeah. Well, you got
Is
a
it
minor league
blacked
pitcher.
out, or can we actually watch it?
I mean, it's blacked out on all my devices because they tell me that I'm in the territorial restricted area of the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, because everybody can pick up and take off a day of work and drive to Atlanta at 11 a.m. to go watch a baseball game.
Yes.
Be
Very
awful
got
if
it.
they could watch it, at home or on their phone.
I've got it. Michael Harris just legged one out. Nice.
Do you have it on like your TV app or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I can do it too because I forgot I have.
FanDuel.
Yep.
There you go. Coming up next, we'll go to Nashville, Tennessee. We'll talk to Gentry Estes, find out what the Tennessee Titans are thinking. I think we all know that they're going after Cam Ward, but how about the franchise itself? Where do they turn to now, and how quickly can they get back to the promised land? That's next on Three Man Front. It is 11:33, Jocks 94.5, the NFL Draft. Tomorrow night, a reminder, you can join me and Molly at Trim Tab. We'll be there from 6 to 8. The draft gets underway from Green Bay, Wisconsin at 7 o'clock. Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline from the Tennessee outstanding columnist, also covers the Tennessee Titans. Gentry Estes joins us here on Three Man Front. Gentry, I hope you're doing well on this day before the draft. I hope the excitement level is at a fever pitch there in the wonderful city of Nashville.
Day here before the storm tomorrow, but yeah, certainly a lot of excitement. If you have the number one pick in the draft, that doesn't come along very often. So will be an interesting day tomorrow. Even though I think we've got pretty good idea what's going to happen.
I saw a report where Titans fans need to maybe brace themselves for some surprise picks, not necessarily at number one, but let's just say for some reason they don't take Cam Ward at number one. Where could you see them going?
I think they're going to take Cam Ward at number one.
In regards to that, I know that there's no more drama in regards to that, but leading up to that ultimate decision that communicated with him that they were going to take him one, was there much debate at all? Shedeur Sanders, anybody else?
I think the debate was more, do you trade back or not? I do believe there was some desire on their front to maybe see what they could get in terms of trying to get more picks. I think going into this draft, one of the things that the Titans had said that they wanted to improve their draft capital. They traded away a third-round pick last year for L'Jarius Sneed in a deal that definitely hasn't worked out very well. And so I think they came into this saying if we could get a few more top 100 picks, that was kind of the goal. I think a few things got in the way of that. I don't think there was a lot of demand for the number one pick this year versus maybe some other years. There just wasn't that clear-cut prospect. I do believe, probably Travis Hunter is the best player in the draft. So if you didn't take Cam Ward, that's probably where it would go. But I think for the Titans, if you go back into free agency, there have been a lot of tells for this, most notably the fact that they didn't really go after a quarterback in free agency. They brought in a couple of backup journeyman types, but they were never really in on the whole Russell Wilson or Sam Darnold or some of the quarterbacks that were out there. So I think that was kind of a pretty good sign that they were going to be interested in the quarterback in this draft, and it was pretty clear early on that Cam Ward was the one they were more interested in. Now, anything can happen tomorrow, but the Titans held a pre-draft press conference yesterday in which they didn't even really try to pretend like it wasn't going to be Cam Ward, and they did even say, they had decided to make a pick. They're no longer, listening to trade offers for it. So I believe it's going to be Cam Ward.
All right, Gentry, in your opinion, after Cam Ward, what position of need would you draft from next?
All of them. And I say that, and I don't say that to duck the question, but their roster stinks and they need pretty much everything. Running back, they're probably okay, and they'll probably go draft a running back in the third round as soon as I say that. But they really do need everything. They're in a position where no matter what they do, it's hard to say it's not a need for them. I truly believe that. I think wide receiver, edge rusher probably jump out the most just because those are premium positions in the league. But they need everything, y'all.
In regards to how quickly they can get back to the promised land and getting to the point to where they can compete for a playoff position, what are we talking about? Another couple years? What's the patient level for the head coach? All those type things. I know many Titans fans are asking themselves.
Yeah, I think it's a good question in terms of the patience, because I do believe – well, we'll go back. After 2 seasons ago, they got rid of Mike Vrabel and kind of decided to keep the GM Rand Carthon. Then after this last season, they let Carthon go, decided to keep the coach and Brian Callahan. So you're in this cycle of, okay, it's the GM this year, it's the coach this year, it's the GM. They need to get out of that. And I think what they have done so far this offseason has indicated a little more patience and discipline in terms of what they're trying to do. I'm not going to say scrap it to the foundation, but it's close at this point with what they've done. I don't believe they're going to be very good this year. I think this will be a continued rebuild no matter what they do in the draft. And I do believe they're going to have to be patient. Now, that's easier said than done when you have ownership that has not been very patient and has made a lot of moves each offseason to try to change things up. I think they are going to have to be patient to get this back because, no, I do not think this will be a quick fix.
Has the state of Tennessee, Gentry, have they moved on already from Nico Iamaleava, or is that stuff still festering even with the announcement of having another quarterback coming in?
What do you think?
It's SEC,
no, I mean,
right?
No, of course, it's a big deal. It was not a good situation for anybody, and they'll move forward. But I don't think anybody, Nico, Tennessee, anybody who was a part of that is better for having gone through it.
In regards to what the fans are thinking now, the expectations were pretty high with Nico coming back. He coming off a college football playoff performance, albeit it was a very poor performance, but you did make the college football playoff. Now with Aguilar, that we're assuming he's going to be the starting quarterback in the fall when they break camp. What is the realistic expectations of the Volunteers?
I mean, I don't think we know for sure who will be the starter. I think Jake Merklinger, everybody kind of assumed they just didn't have anything at quarterback, and that really isn't the case. I mean, Jake Merklinger was a 4-star prospect. They brought in another 4-star in George McIntyre. It's probably too soon for McIntyre as a freshman who just got to campus, but there is some talent there. So, no, I would assume you bring in this new guy to be the starter, but I don't think that – I think he's going to have to earn it, and I feel as though you do have a quarterback who has some experience in the system. Now, are they going to be able to match what Nico did? Probably not. It's probably going to be a step back. I mean, Nico was a good but not great quarterback for Tennessee last year, but I think a lot of people went into this season expecting that he was going to make a big leap. And, the fact that he won't be there to do that and you're scrambling a little bit last minute, no, it's not a good thing. I think from Tennessee's perspective, maybe it all works out, but you're not better for losing that guy.
Gentry staying with quarterback.
At least on the field. I say that. You're better for we say not better for losing that guy. I still think Tennessee probably did the right thing to keep, to set a standard for that. They weren't going to be able to. Players weren't going to be able to hold out to get a new deal. We'll put it that way.
All right, staying with quarterback, going back to the NFL draft, and Cam Ward is expected to go number 1 there to the Titans. But of the quarterbacks that are mentioned for the first round, who do you think has the biggest potential to be a bust? I know that's kind of a loaded question, just in your opinion, where you just don't see that guy being first round worthy.
There may not be another quarterback in the first round. I don't know. I mean, it's possible that Shedeur Sanders doesn't fall. But I'm going to be honest, guys. I focus pretty much on one guy. Covering the Titans, it's been pretty clear all along who's going to be. Maybe you look at Shedeur Sanders a little bit. I think Jackson Dart's getting a lot of attention. I think Jalen Milroe is a guy that everybody's probably overlooked a little bit here too much. Now, are any of those guys going to go in the first round? Possibly. But at this point, I don't think it's this guy's going to go real high and could be a bust. I think this guy may not go in the first round. I don't believe this is a very sound quarterback draft class, at least not in terms of being top heavy.
Well, before we let you go, I got to ask you about Alabama and Auburn's favorite quarterback that resides in Nashville, and that's Diego Pavia. How's he doing, and how are the Vanderbilt fans knowing that they've got him coming back for another season?
Yeah, they're doing spectacular. Diego is these days. He's throwing out the first pitch at baseball games. I saw him at a Vanderbilt golf tournament.
Wow.
He's basically become an ambassador here for the program. So, but no, I mean, it's I'll tell you this. I've been here about 5-6 years, and the only other Vanderbilt athlete I've seen that has the kind of local celebrity that he does was Kumar Rocker when he was a pitcher, winning a national championship for Vanderbilt. So, this he's a local celebrity, and he's kind of earned that on the field. And Vanderbilt's team, they're not gonna catch people by surprise again this year. But I do think that to have him back and a couple of key guys around him, I think, they're on Alabama and Auburn schedule again this year, so I imagine they're both looking out for him.
No doubt. That is Gentry Estes. You can follow his work at the Tennessean. Gentry, always appreciate your time. Have fun at the draft tomorrow night. Should be a lot of fun as the Titans get ready for their number 1 pick, Cam Ward. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Okay. Take care, guys.
Thank you. That's Gentry Estes joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, tomorrow night while you're watching the draft, you can enjoy some great product there from Mystic Beverage, sparkling water infused with various cannabinoids for relaxation and focus. You can go with a Nirvanic, the 25 milligram Delta 8 for a smooth, calming experience, perfect for unwinding. How about the High Hills Delta 9, available in the 5 and 15 milligram for a balanced and elevated vibe. But my favorite is the Lift Blend. Features the CBD, the CBG, the Delta 9, and most important, the green coffee bean extract. It's going to pick you up for those long nights, for those long days at work, or where you just have to be task-oriented. You have to stay on task. The Lift Blend is awesome. You got delicious flavors like the blood orange, the southern berry, the mango, which I just recently tried, and I love it, and the watermelon. Available locally. You can find it at your nearest Piggly Wiggly. It is made right here in the state of Alabama, Blount County to be exact. MysticBeverage.com. Get it at your local Piggly Wiggly. And make sure you tell them Landrum from Jock 94.5 sent you. We continue here on Three Man Front. We got JP Shadrick. We'll check in with the Jaguars. What are their draft needs? Where JP thinks they'll go? We'll talk college football with JP as well. Three Man Front continuing. The Hump Day edition. Jock 94.5.
So earlier this morning, we do this on the Twitter poll question of the day. We asked our audience the following question. If Birmingham hosted one of these sporting events, which would interest you the most to attend? And we gave you 4 options. The Army-Navy football game, which, by the way, Gene Holman and the Alabama Sports Foundation about 15 years ago put a bid in for the Army-Navy game to be played at Legion Field. That absolutely happened. Obviously, we did not get it, but Birmingham, because of the large contingency of veterans that we have in the state of Alabama and in Birmingham, that would have been a really good fit, in my opinion. So that was one of the games that we threw out as an option. Major League Baseball game at Rickwood. We saw that last year. Tickets were very hard to come by, and the place was sold out. NCAA Men's Elite Eight. Birmingham has hosted Elite Eights before. It's always been a great event and sold out. And then we threw you one option because if the city of Green Bay can host the NFL draft, why can't Birmingham? And so, Molly, when you take a look at the results so far, what is it looking like? Because we've had tremendous response from the listeners of Jocks 94.5 and 3-Man Front about what they would like to attend if one of those 4 events came back to the Magic City.
Yeah, right now the leading result is the Elite Eight for the men's tournament with 44.4%. Coming in second is the Army-Navy game with 28.2%. Looks like third place is MLB at Rickwood again with 14.1%. And then last is the NFL draft with only 13.2%.
I'll be honest, I'm completely surprised by that. I thought it would be the Army-Navy game. I thought that would have been the one that folks would have voted for. Who'd you vote for, Conrad?
I voted for the Elite Eight, but I think the reason for that is, well, I'll be completely honest, 10 years ago, I would have never picked that. But I think now you have a pretty decent feeling that you might get out. Yeah, but you also
plus
feel
you got
like
a good venue.
Yes, and you're like, well, decent chance we'd get Alabama or Auburn or heck, maybe even both to play in that venue. I think that's where a lot of people are coming from. You get to see them play here in Birmingham. That'd be cool.
I also picked the Elite Eight, Conrad.
Yeah.
How about you, Landrum? You're a Birminghamian.
Yes. The only one that I've never attended, though, would be the NFL draft. So I'd want the NFL draft. Selfishly, but all would be great. Again, in some cases.
Would you wear a cheese head?
Yes. I have a cheese head.
I know.
If we were to have the NFL draft here, where would you hold it? Vulcan Park? Overlooking the city?
Railroad Park.
Railroad Park.
No. You got a amphitheater now. Probably not going to be big enough.
Yeah, man, that would be tough. Where would you put it?
Vulcan Park wouldn't be big enough either, I don't think.
Let's do it at Barber's.
I read where last year, on the opening day of the draft, that Thursday in Detroit, they drew 220-something thousand people in downtown Detroit. They're predicting, just because of the logistics and so many people aren't going to Green Bay for the NFL draft, they're hoping that the whole weekend will draw about 200,000 or 250,000.
Do you remember when it was in Nashville? I mean,
Well,
there were what,
Broadway
like,
was
I
crazy.
I mean, there were
remember
what,
that.
500,000 people,
That
if
was
not
my
more?
senior year, and you could not get anywhere.
Did you go down there?
Absolutely not. I stayed as far away as I could. It didn't matter where you were driving, though, in the whole Nashville metro area. It took at least 30. Like, you had to allocate more time if you wanted to go anywhere.
That'd be cool, though, if you own one of the lofts there in downtown.
Oh, yeah, it'd be great. Well,
You just like sit
I'm
out
sure it was
and-
cool, but
and watch.
I stayed far away from downtown.
You could do it at Barber's. You do it at Barber's, and then for the draft picks for the first round, they show up in a different car.
Good idea.
Ooh,
That's
that'd be
cool.
Mm-hmm. Even some of the vintage motorcycles that have a little sidecar, right?
could do it on the quad in Tuscaloosa to honor all of the draft picks.
Stop.
The most draft picks of any school in the last 25 years, if anyone was wondering. It's Alabama.
Is it?
It is.
I saw a stat this morning that disputed that, but
Yeah.
Overall,
from 2000 through last year's draft,
who was number one?
it said Miami.
We're about to figure this out real quick. I know Alabama certainly has the most first-round draft picks since 2000. That one.
I think the stat was overall.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, he's all been out of shape now.
He is.
He's like down to determined.
He's like, man, I've been throwing out this stat to people for years.
Second.
Yeah.
So I was right.
Actually, we were both wrong. It's Ohio State. This is Ohio State has 163 players selected
Since when?
since 2000. Alabama has 154. Miami's not even the top 5 on this one. So maybe we both had bad information.
Where's
and it really is
USC?
Alabama. USC was number. They're not.
They're not top 5.
No, not on what I was looking at. The top 5 of what I have right here is Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, and Florida.
Okay.
That's what I have too.
That's the top 5.
Number 6 is Miami.
Okay, well, I guess we have to go have it in Columbus, Ohio, then.
We don't have to. Where would you do it in Columbus, Ohio?
The Horseshoe? I don't
The
know.
Horseshoe?
Yeah, I don't know where else you would do it.
Urban Meyer's Pine House?
Let's just go do it in Cleveland since we found out there's so many great things there yesterday.
That's exactly what Cleveland needs. Let's infuse that city with an NFL draft. They'll have it there.
In honor of you regularly picking within the top 5 of the NFL draft, Cleveland, we are coming to your city.
Man. Green Bay will be interesting. For sure.
You'll have, I will say this, you will have hardcore football fans there, right? Because there'll be some people that from a historical standpoint go, okay, cool, we get to go to Green Bay. Maybe you've never seen Lambeau before. You get to go and take in all the history of football. And it's not going to be like 20 degrees, so. I guess if this is the time you ever wanted to go to Green Bay, this would be a good time to go.
It would be. Not a whole lot to do outside of draft.
No.
Maybe drive back to Milwaukee to your hotel.
Will Aaron Rodgers get on stage and announce where he's playing next year since it's in Green Bay? Would that not be great?
Who gets more booze, Goodell or Aaron Rodgers?
Let him announce the Packers' first-round pick, but before he announces the pick, he tells us who he's playing for next year. Sign me up for that.
I had an Aaron Rodgers moment just a couple of days ago. The bathroom on the second floor, the light wouldn't come on. I was like, this is how Aaron Rodgers feels.
Man, I could really do this for a week.
Never been so happy to have my cell phone with me. I can see. Hour number 2 in the books. Hour number 3 comes your way next. JP Shadrick, Hewitt Trustful. Also the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll talk draft with JP and some college football as well. Stream in front on this Wednesday. Jocks 94.5, JocksFM.com, the Jocks 94.5 app, and wherever you stream.
It is 12 noon. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front, Jocks 94.5. Conrad, Molly, Landrum, I'm Pat with you until 2 o'clock. Talking a lot of NFL draft. We'll be at Trim Tab tomorrow night. Come by and see us. The festivities begin at 6 p.m. Draft begins at 7. We've already gone up to Nashville to find out their number one pick, Cam Ward. No drama there. Let's go to Jacksonville, Duval County. JP Shadrick joins us here, right here on Three Man Front. JP, I hope you're doing well.
I am doing well, but you're going to be doing better tomorrow at Trim Tab. That sounds like a fun time.
It's going to be a fantastic time. Next time you're in town.
It's a great place.
Me and you will need to, instead of going to the little bistro you and I went to in Trustful during the Christmas holidays, we could go down to Trim Tab and hang out.
We might can arrange that here in a couple weeks.
That sounds like a good time. All right, so give us the 411. What's going on? Is Ashton Jeanty now the hot name for the Jags as you guys get ready for the first round tomorrow night?
Yeah, over the last couple of months, it's been Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan. That's kind of been the general consensus, all these mock drafts, everything, And then as it's gone along, you keep hearing Jeanty a little bit more and a little bit more. And, it kind of makes sense with the scenario of the Jaguars right now. New head coach, offensive-minded head coach that'll call plays, a quarterback that's in place for a number of years to come. They've got a star wide receiver in Brian Thomas Jr. They could use another star player on the offensive side of the ball. If Travis Hunter is somehow there, okay, that's the guy. That's the slam dunk. But he's not getting the 5, I don't think, unless they, never know. Maybe they could package something and move around. But you need to get something on the offensive side to really help balance out this offense. Yes, they have Travis Etienne Jr. Yes, they have Tank Bigsby. Etienne's in the final year he's on the 5th-year option season this season coming up. So he could be out of here after this season anyway. So Jeanty might be the perfect scenario here, a guy that can balance the offense, be a real true home run threat out of the backfield to balance it out and let Trevor Lawrence throw it around a little bit more. So if he's there and he's the option, I think that's a solid pick.
If it's not Ashton Jeanty and he's not available, who else could you – and we'll take a Travis Hunter out of it as well, but who else could you potentially see the Jaguars being interested in and maybe selecting?
Yeah, I think this is where it gets strange, right? If for some reason Jeanty's gone, okay, do they just go back to like best available? I don't think they're stuck on offense there. I mean, I think they could go after the defensive lineman out of Georgia, Jalen Walker, right? They could go, in theory, they could go offensive tackle, though they have a couple of guys in place on, in contracts here at both tackle spots. But maybe they, stick with the offensive weaponry part of it. And we mentioned Brian Thomas Jr., big, tall, fast, can go get the ball, 50-50 balls, all that. How about another guy on the other side in McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona? I know there's been a lot of talk the last day or two about him sliding and all this. I don't know if I buy all that. This time of year, you never know. But all of a sudden, if you have him along with Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis, if he's healthy, Brenton Strange is the lead tight end right now. You got a basketball team, basically, out there you're throwing around to. So I wouldn't be shocked by that. And don't be surprised. Yeah, I mentioned Brenton Strange, and they got a couple of tight ends in free agency, kind of lower tier deals. If Warren's sitting there from Penn State, the tight end, hey, don't count him out either, because all of a sudden he's a jack of all trades. He can do everything.
Well, it goes without saying, based on all the names that you've dropped with us over the last couple of minutes, it seems like the offensive side of it seems like the offensive side of the ball, it goes without saying. I mean, that is, I guess, the focus, at least the first portion of the draft for the Jags is going to try to find a difference maker potentially on offense, correct?
I think that's the vibe, right? I mean, because just think about what they're trying to do. They got to keep up with Houston. And Houston's got playmakers. They got speed at wide receiver. They got a good quarterback. They've got a defense with some parts on it, right? You've got to be able to score and balance this offense and build it around Trevor Lawrence and the offensive scheme that is being, developed from scratch right now. So if you can add something to that to help complete what they want to do on offense, I think that's I think at least the first draft for James Gladstone, the GM, and the head coach Liam Cohen, it needs to be a splash, kind of a difference maker. That's my opinion of it. So that's the feel right now.
JP, in the capacity of what you do on a daily basis, and you've been around some different head coaches within that organization, what is it like with the transition and going to a Liam Cohen?
I've been around some head coaches. You could say that. Yeah, this is the sixth head coach. In
Unbelievable.
Fact, in,
Wow.
14 years, right? So we've seen changes around here. Liam's the one who's setting the course of the culture. Like, he's the one that's setting the tone of what this team needs to do on a day-to-day basis, and is really kind of enforcing that. James Gladstone is going to be the master of the draft like he was in L.A. with the Rams, and he was kind of the second-hand man to Les Snead out there, and kind of cut his teeth doing that, and kept developing and developing. Now he's got his own way of going about it. He's 34 years old, right? I mean, and then Tony Baselli's involved in this process as well. Now the Hall of Fame left tackle is the EVP of football operations. So basically he covers everything else that's not picking players and coaching players. He can be involved in those meetings and is a sounding board and is there, but he's handling the travel, the logistics, the team meals, everything else around it. Equipment room, like the training staff is all leading up through Baselli. So that's the nature of the organization now. They've done it a number of different ways over the years, where it's been coach heavy or GM heavy, or an EVP with Tom Coughlin over everybody as a czar of sorts. So now they're going back to, it's a kind of a coach first mindset. They're all three in it together. Nobody has been called out as the ultimate, tiebreaker in any decisions yet. They haven't gone public with any of that, but that's the lay of the land right now, at least in this iteration of Jaguars leadership.
We're talking to JP Shadrick, joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline from the Jacksonville Jags. You can also hear JP during the NFL season on Westwood One. So all the other folks that you talk to around the NFL, do you think that this will be a pretty pedestrian first round tomorrow night? Or do we anticipate maybe some moving and shaking going on, maybe at the top, maybe number 2, number 3, or maybe even the back part of the draft in regards to trades moving up and back?
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because it's the latest going into a common draft era draft since 1967 that every team has had their original pick. I think 1993 was when the Chiefs and the 49ers traded Joe Montana, and that was like 5 days before the draft. And that broke that string that year of every team having their own pick. So this is abnormal, right? Everybody's either made deals in years past that have led into this or whatever, or in the days leading to the draft, pull the trigger on a deal, but nothing's happened yet, right? So that's why everybody's a little bit on edge that, okay, what is going to happen? Something will happen. I don't know if it's as early as before 5. There was the reports that the Browns are fielding phone calls at number 2. I wouldn't be shocked by that, because you got to get some kind of price, if there is a price for whatever spot that's going to be. But getting phone calls and then making that move are two totally different animals, right? If you got Travis Hunter staring you at the face, you can get him on your roster. It's going to be really expensive to get out to get that pick away from them. I could see something right after. Maybe the Jags are in a pretty good spot. If one of those 4 players up top slides down somehow, okay, then hey, you're going to get some phone calls and see if they can jump up and take that number 5 spot as well. The other thing too, we don't know, at least from a Jaguars perspective, what James Gladstone is apt to do. Does he want to, he's got 11 picks in next year's draft as well to play with. Does he package some up and try to move up a couple times? Does he move back? Last year they moved back twice under Trent Baalke, the GM, to get Brian Thomas Jr. in the first round. But they also traded back in a couple years before that to get Devin Lloyd in the back end of the first round, a second pick in it. So there's different ways to go about it. We don't know any idea of what James Gladstone wants to do. Does he want to collect picks? Does he need players now? Does he want to just stand pat and pick a guy? We'll find out Thursday night.
JP, every organization has had a guy that has not lived up to expectations, and we always talk about bust.
I feel like you're targeting us. Right
No.
That's the way Landrum does,
No.
JP. You know that.
I am not targeting at all. I'm curious who would Jacksonville. I play golf with a guy who's a season ticket holder down there, so I hear it from him. But who would be the biggest bust if I asked the everyday Jag fan of draft picks past?
Justin Blackmon.
Okay.
2012. I mean, he had, the DUI, 2 months after the draft, and then played his rookie year and was really good when he was on the field. He was incredible when he was on the field, but had so many things going on off the field, and then was suspended, and then never came back. I mean, played a year and a half. That's it. That was the biggest one. They traded up to get him as well, right? So that was the first draft under the new ownership. So I'd say that's probably the biggest regret. Now, they've had a lot of first-round picks around here that have not gotten to second contracts. So there's a long list of those guys. Blaine Gabbert, one of those, quarterback, right? When you draft a quarterback that high, you need that guy to stick around, and they haven't been able to do that over the years. So, but if I had to pick that one, C.J. Henderson recently was a first-round pick corner, and you could tell in the reaction shot when they drafted him, his face was just like in stunned disbelief that he was coming to Jacksonville. So that didn't work out, and all of a sudden 2 years later they dealt him away. Those are the two biggest in my eyes, at least busts in the first round. So that's never fun. I mean, you spend a whole off season, 2 years really building up these guys and getting ready to go, and then all of a sudden something happens and you pick the wrong guy. It can set you back a number of years.
In regards to the franchise, we're just talking to Gentry Estes, who covers the Tennessee Titans up in Nashville. And obviously they're in really, really bad shape in regards to what they need to do to get that franchise back heading in the right direction. And I know that the Khan family is very active in the city of Jacksonville. Obviously, the investments that they're putting there now down by the river in regards to all the projects that they want to do. They're putting their money where their mouth is. But in regards to the people that you talk to, whether it's in the supermarket line or just at events for the Jags, the level of patience for this franchise to get back to the playoffs, or for Trevor Lawrence to take that next step as an NFL quarterback, where is that right now? Is the patience level pretty level-headed, or just sometimes fans being fans and expect they should be playing for the Super Bowl next year?
I don't think it's ever really fully level-headed, but they understand that it is a new regime and it might take a couple years to really get right. That said, it is not a full rebuild like we have seen around here before. 2013, I'm going back a long way now. They had just fired the head coach and the GM and everybody. Everybody got whacked after that 2012 season. That was a debacle. Mike Mularkey was the head coach. He got run off after 1 year. And the GM was Gene Smith, who was the holdover from the previous owner. He got run out. So they brought in Dave Caldwell as the GM, and Gus Bradley was the head coach. And they tore the roster down to the studs. They sent veteran players off in trades they probably shouldn't have. They brought in all these kids. I mean, they ran out. That season we went to Wembley, ran out onto the field in London against the San Francisco 49ers, who had just come off the Super Bowl. And these little rookie Jaguars come running out there, and it's like, oh, man, this is so far away from being a competitive football team. You just tell when they ran out of the tunnel. It was just a different feel, right? This is not that, right? I mean, this is a quarterback. They've got a receiver. They've got veteran offensive linemen who they've brought in the free agency this year, but they've got some guys at tackle that they like. They've got pass rushers, and they've got a cornerback or two they feel like can play, and a veteran linebacker who's made a lot of tackles in his career. So this is not that. This is a totally different vibe than that 2012. So what is the timetable for fans? You got to ask each fan, but I would see, a division title is, if they make the right moves here in this draft, it's certainly within reach. The way this division plays and the way the Texans did not really perform well down the stretch last year. that happens again, then I think it's anybody's division right now.
JP, we know that Pat and Maul are going to be at Trim Tab and watching the draft. How will you consume it? Will you be there aboard the Kismet?
No, they don't want me aboard that thing. There's no way.
They need to let you on there one day.
I am not invited. There's no way. No, we've got full coverage here at team headquarters. So we'll be here with a regular radio show in the afternoon tomorrow at 4, and then we've got pregame shows on team social channels at like 7:30, and then we'll be live after every pick all weekend long with immediate analysis on the team website and team social channels. So we'll be here in the building just down the hall. I mean, probably 15 steps from the draft room, and we'll have immediate reaction from the GM and the head coach throughout the weekend. So that's how we'll consume it. On all the televisions we can watch here in the building, but it's an exciting week after a long off season of building up to it. And this is how it should be. You're going to build for the draft. That's how you get better. It's not free agency. You don't want to do that. That'll hurt your franchise, and we know it well. So the draft is where you make your hay.
That's for college football, free agency.
That's where it's at
Yeah,
now.
apparently so.
Yeah.
Apparently you get your free agent money and then leave before you play. How's that work?
That is good stuff. Well, enjoy the draft tomorrow night. Look forward to catching up with you soon when you come back to town. Always appreciate your insight and time. Have fun tomorrow night.
Thanks, JP.
Yeah, enjoy it, guys. Always great to talk to you.
Thanks, JP. JP Shadrick joining us. You can hear him on the NFL for the Jacksonville Jags, also on Westwood One Radio Network for the NFL. He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, in case you want to check out the draft here or the NBA finals, the NHL playoffs are going on, any of the postseason games we got, also Major League Baseball, you need to go and check out Big Whiskeys because they have several big screens in the bar with unique cocktails and over 120 whiskeys on tap. Plus, you can go outside and enjoy the outdoor patio and game area. It's great for families this time of year, and the kids eat free on Tuesday. So go check them out in the Stadium Trace Village off Highway 150 near the Hoover Met.
More three-man front on this Wednesday. This is Jocks 94.5. Over on our sister station, right now the Braves and the Cardinals, top of the fifth inning. Cardinals lead the Braves 1-0. Top of the fifth, 2 outs as the Cardinals bat.
Your under lock is about to hit. Maybe. Let the Braves do what they did.
Have you seen the last
night.
2 nights?
Well,
the last 2 nights.
Last
both
2 nights.
teams
Late
have.
inning. Fireworks. Conrad's lock of the over is in question.
Yeah, that was his lock of the year. That what can happen.
That's why you consult with Pat.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't send me a text.
Never bringing up gambling advice for baseball ever again. I'm done.
I think people who bet on baseball would tell you the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know how advisable that is, but yeah, Pat's still here.
He is.
Is that your volume up?
No.
I think it was mine. Sorry.
Oh, it was?
I think it was
Okay.
mine.
I was checking.
Because I was like,
No,
man,
mine's
who's
off.
listening to the Braves game? And I was like, oh, I think it's mine because we all have it on our phones.
So some sad news from the college football world, and it was made public yesterday. It happened on Sunday. Former ESPN announcer Mike Patrick passed away over the weekend at the age of 80. Patrick spent 36 years as a play-by-play commentator for ESPN and was the network's NFL voice for Sunday Night Football for 18 seasons. Patrick began his play-by-play role at ESPN back in 1982. He called his last event the AutoZone Liberty Bowl on December 30th, 2017. But I want to take you back to September 22nd, 2007. Georgia is trailing Alabama 23-20 in overtime as Matthew Stafford is about to try to lead the game-winning drive for the Georgia Bulldogs. Mike Patrick and Todd Blackledge on the call from Bryant-Denny Stadium. This is from September 22nd, 2007.
I have an important question. Go ahead. What is Brittany doing with her life? Who? Brittany. Brittany who? Spears. What is she doing with her career?
Why do we care at this point? Is she here?
I don't think so.
Is she a football fan?
Oh, I'm sure she is.
Just a bizarre exchange in the most important part of the game. You're in overtime between Alabama and Georgia at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and he's asking Todd Blackledge, what's up with Britney Spears?
That's why Alabama lost that game.
They did lose that game as the Bulldogs took care of the Tide in overtime there at BDS.
I liked his sound, though.
Oh, he was
Mike
great.
Patrick calling a game.
He was fantastic.
He would do College World Series.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I can remember they did a shot where I don't know if he cared at the time or whatever, but they went to the press box and he had a heater that was burning in an ashtray.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Calling the game.
Yep. He was the
It's Mike.
Just living life.
Yeah.
He was the first voice of NFL primetime on ESPN, which was big. Had an opportunity a couple times to interview him. A really nice guy, and he was really him and Todd Blackledge, as we all remember, for that ESPN primetime game. They kind of took over for. You had Franklin and Gottfried, who was doing the primetime games, and then it kind of shifted it to Patrick and Blackledge before Chris Fowler decided he wanted to get off game day and wanted to do play-by-play. And then you had obviously Kirk Herbstreit in his maturation process from a broadcasting standpoint, started calling the games. But Mike Patrick passed away over the weekend at the age of 80.
He was a good one, man.
Very good. Also did a lot of ACC basketball towards the end of his career. He was kind of a staple.
But lived to 80, and it listed died of natural causes. So,
and again, I mean, it's funny, and I know some people probably in the heat of the moment were like, I really don't care what's going on with Britney Spears. I mean, that's one of the most iconic, just during a play-by-play scenario, just a random comment that kind of sparks it and it kind of perks your ears up. I mean, I've seen that clip dozens of times in the past 18 years of people randomly, hey, do you remember this?
Well, and we had talked about this a little bit earlier off the air, but if we remember during the national championship game when Britton Musburger started going crazy about Catherine Webb,
that game was long.
Alabama was beating the dog crap out of Notre Dame,
yeah.
And that was just funny.
It was, yeah. Well, yeah, it was funny to some. think some people found it maybe
Creepy?
a little creepy.
Well, I think a lot of people thought it was creepy, but I still thought it was funny.
Hey, just the
Hey, she's an attractive woman, Brent. We all see it.
But that game was well in hand. But when you've
Yes.
got overtime between Alabama and Georgia, and Nick Saban's on the sideline for the Crimson Tide against Mark Richt, and Matthew Stafford is leading the team down for a game-winning drive, just all of a sudden during one of the timeouts, he's asking American Todd Blackledge, what's going on with Britney Spears?
See, and I mean, when that happened, I remember I was 11. And so in that, I wasn't the Alabama fan that I am today. Like today, if that were to happen, like in the Alabama-Georgia game last year with all of the back and forth nature of that game, I would have been pulling my hair out. I would have been so distraught and so stressed out. But in the right, it's just, comedic relief is good.
So we're following this Braves game between the Cardinals and the Braves. Did you see who the Braves added to the roster this morning?
Jesse Chavez. He's
You
back.
cannot
the
make-
fourth time?
You cannot make this stuff up.
How many
Is
times
this his
is
seventh time?
8th, I think.
Is it really 8?
I don't know. It's
I thought 4 was
it's a bunch.
maybe being generous.
Well, 2 already this season. They got him before the season started.
He's pitched for Atlanta the past 5 seasons, despite signing contracts with the Angels, Cubs, Rangers, and White Sox. I joked with you about when they released him about 2 weeks ago. I said, I'll just wait. He'll be back. So he is.
Let's see here.
Maybe we'll have a Verdugo-like presence.
Good
Bring a
grief.
spark.
He started his career in Pittsburgh at the tender age of 24 back in 2008. It's a bunch.
So the option, Nathan Wiles, he's the young man that pitched last night and threw kerosene on the fire, right? Out of the bullpen.
Yes. Yeah, he did. I forget who it was. You had a left-hander at the plate, and he hit one. It was foul, but he hit one about 500 feet. I think that landed on the freeway. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Braves still trailing the Cardinals 1-0.
That under's looking so good right now.
Yeah, it is. Super good.
Let's see, just for
Have you ordered the roof yet from Tropicana?
no, let me give you an update on that.
Oh, are you bidding still?
No, I dropped out of the bidding because I'll tell you why. Because it apparently, I forgot because I used to do this at times on eBay. How you'll place your high bid. Like I'm not going to go past this number.
Yes.
So when I started bidding, it was at $24.50, and so I went in and I told eBay I will go $25. So I bid $25, and as soon as I submitted it, it immediately went to $26 is now the high bid. So we sat here and watched it before I started doing this, and there was no action whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was the owner started raising it himself.
I like to think one of our listeners is bidding against you on that piece of Tropicana field, and that's what's going on. I love someone's like, I'm getting this.
So I got it up to $30. Let's see where it is now.
I bet it's Pelham Gator.
Oh,
See,
it's $32 now.
See, just keep driving it up and then drop out at the last minute. Now that's risky because you could.
It's very risky,
You
Conrad.
could end up paying $100 for it,
Yes.
but on the other hand, you could make someone else pay $100.
That's how you get stuck with the Pokemon card you never really wanted.
So I have officially dropped out of the running.
And didn't you say it was you're gonna have to pay shipping and stuff too, right? That wasn't free.
$4.08.
No, that's not bad.
But if you guys would like to contribute to this, and then we'll keep it at my house, and I'll let you come over and look at it. If you would like to participate and give me some money for this.
I'm with Landrum. I want the catwalk.
Yeah.
Is Catwalk on eBay?
Probably
I bet there's some really interesting things.
on eBay.
Well, from that storm that are probably on eBay.
Oh yeah, probably.
Apparently, a lot of people. Now, so what's happening is the people that are putting this on eBay are the ones that actually went to the stadium and purchased this at the gift shop.
And then they're putting it on.
And they're
eBay.
putting it on eBay.
Correct.
But right after the storms, there were people putting
Oh, they were like picking it up off the ground
absolutely
and selling it.
it. So
Golly, this turf was going for $1,000. Kidding
for
me?
Tropicana,
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's, I don't know. I like, what are you really gaining from this? If you spent $15 on it and you're reselling it on eBay for $26 or $30, like, is that really worth all the hassle of reselling something for a $15 profit? Maybe it is.
I guess
but
if you sell enough of them.
I was about to say, if you have 100 of them, maybe, but.
so I know it's my money, but how high would you go? It's at $32.
Oh, I'm out.
Jump to 40 and see what happens. Enough of this cat and mouse.
How bad do you want it, Pat?
Come on, Pat.
I
Go to
don't
40.
want it $40 worth.
Come
no.
on, do 40.
Well, then do
Do
35.
40.
Are
Somebody,
you giving me money?
huh?
Are you giving me money for
I got
this?
5 on it. Good song back in the day.
Yeah.
All right, so you give me $5 if I raise the bid to $40.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm going there. Here we
Landrum
go.
bought the Surströmmen. So you can, the least you can do is buy a piece of Tropicana Field for yourself.
Exactly.
So there's been 19 total bids, and I think I've bid like 10 times on it.
Are you going up 50 cents per bid or $1?
All right, so I'm about to.
we got a diehard up in Birmingham.
I'm about to hit.
Okay, hit it.
But so there's not a buy now option for like $50 or something.
What
or
if
it's
he
just,
clicks it and it's like sold?
Well, that's what I was waiting for. So they're like, oh, we never thought of getting this high. Congratulations.
Another bidder is winning now. Increase your bid. So I just went to $40.
And now it's at 41.
You think that's AI, that's computer generated that they have in there bidding against
I
you?
don't know what's going on,
I'm
but
telling
trying
you,
to
it's one of
drive it
our
up.
listeners.
I am completely out now. So
Your package will arrive in approximately 12 to 18 months.
What would you do if you just, you had to get out of the studio and you saw Molly's laptop open on eBay and she was the one that was bidding against you for this the whole time?
probably was Molly.
It probably was.
I'm like, I want that piece.
Is it a 12? It's a 1 foot by 1 foot?
That's correct.
Hmm. So you go black, like a shadow box type display?
Yeah, and I have that the track lighting I have down there. It's motion sensors that when you walk in the room, kind of like when you're in the grocery store and you walk by the
Frozen
freezer.
food?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I have. And I have a special air conditioning that regulates the temperature to make sure that the pieces in the museum don't wilt.
You ever take it out, clean it, or you're just going to leave it in there?
I have the help clean it.
So will this go on the wall next to the autographed Wander Franco baseball that you have? Or?
I do not have that. That's something that you've been trying to get in your collection for some time as you keep emailing people in the Dominican Republic trying to get that.
It's not something you want, Conrad.
Yeah, it's not. That's not a good. It's not a good piece you need.
Okay.
No.
Good to know.
Just ask Shannon Sharp. Anyway, this is
Wow!
3 Front right here.
Whoa!
That was too easy. 12:34. We need a break. This is 3-Man Front on Jocks 94.5. 1238 Jocks 94.5 1-800-239-WJOX. We will get to the courtesy GMC text line at 205-834-9450.
Well, Wallace State softball over the weekend swept a 4-game series against Calhoun to run their winning streak up to 9 games in a row and maintain first place in conference play with a record of 20-4. Lady Lions softball and the men's baseball team will now both begin a 4-game series tomorrow against Coastal Alabama South. For more information on those series, go visit them online at athletics.wallacestate.edu.
NFL Draft is coming up tomorrow night. A reminder that Molly and I will be at Trim Tab beginning at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Come watch the draft with us as we hang out with Jocks listeners, talk a little football with you tomorrow night.
Text line is open 205-834-9450. And these, keep in mind, are from topics that have come up throughout the course of the show. It is a 4-hour program. That's my disclaimer. This one coming from Jeff Conrad. Good morning, because it was morning then.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning.
Has anyone mentioned the McAdory, Alabama pitcher, Chase Lee, made his major league debut for the Detroit Tigers last night and ended the inning by making a double play? Molly?
I did see that.
Did you?
I didn't realize he went to Alabama.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Very cool. So he's from McAdory?
According to Jeff, yes.
Very nice. Wait, so is he a reliever? Okay. Very cool. Couple Bama boys. You got him. You got Casey Mize. Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good dump?
I mean, if we're being honest, it's one of the...
When's the last time you went to a dump?
Oh, it's been a while. I used to go when I lived in Hayden, because I'd have friends that they would just,
Like pick through stuff?
Yeah. Also had a lot of people that would take copper and do stuff. Anyways.
This toothbrush has been barely used.
Anyways.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's been, been a minute.
I got you.
Been a minute.
I got you. Trip asking, Landrum, where's your Braves gear? Pat proudly has his Cards hat on. I'm wearing my Birmingham Barons gear. Is there something wrong with that? Sean says, I bet Pat's man cave is incredible.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he let us see it one day.
You guys were over at the Christmas party.
Well, that doesn't fit the narrative we're trying to tell here, Pat. It is very nice.
Skip Holtz is three-peated and going for a quad stomp. How long before an NFL team gives him a look?
A quad stomp?
Quad stomp.
Like
is that copyrighted somewhere? I like that.
Quad stomp?
Yeah.
Is that when you have 4 waffles together and you stomp on them? A quad stomp?
Speaking of that, I don't know if I should say it on the air, but Posey, when I said we were talking about North Carolina selling out their season tickets for football because of the Bill Belichick, I said, build it and they will come. He said, copyright this, bill it, and they will come.
There you go. That's good.
That is good. Posey, you're always good. Nobody wore baseball leggings like Jose Akendo and Steve Bedrosian.
Bedrock.
Very true.
Do you think that somebody will sue me for this shirt I got on? Because, they have applied for a trademark on this.
I hope not.
Yeah, but they're not they're not selling them yet, are they?
How about our buddies?
Sure they are.
Our buddy Steve from Tuscaloosa who went over to the game last night, and it was his birthday. He just sent us a picture from the day to the game today.
Oh, he's there now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, looky there.
That looks fantastic. Looks like a beautiful day in Atlanta.
Draft options. If Birmingham was going to host a draft, someone chimed in, said the new amphitheater downtown. Not a bad idea. Probably needs to be bigger.
I was supposed to say that my thing would be, because we talked about this with the was it the Olympics or whatever, with the parking situation, right?
Yeah.
You would need significantly more parking than we have available.
Jody said, according to Wikipedia, Ohio State has the all-time most first-round draft picks with 91. USC is second with 86, and Bama is third with 82. That's according to
all-time.
Wikipedia, yes.
All-time. Yeah, we were talking since the year 2000, but yeah, all-time. Alabama's not number 1, but they are in the last 25 years.
Going back to the late Mike Patrick of ESPN, this one says he was trying to make a joke like he was acting like he was downplaying the fever pitch excitement going on with the game. Nobody got it.
It's a funny moment.
Cody says Pat is bidding against Bama Hater. That is possible.
It just proves my theory that somebody is sitting there because it's crazy how, like, we just put in $40 for this stupid 1x1 tile from the roof, and it's now $41. I'm just curious if I did 100. Think it'd go to 101? Will you give me the money if I do it?
Yes.
You'll give me $50.
For what?
He just said yes. He's not paying attention.
No, I'm trying to read through this.
Did you hear that? He just said he'd give me $50 if I go $100.
No.
Oh, that's a great deal.
Yeah, that's so nice of you.
Don't do it.
Now he's having second thoughts.
Yeah, don't do it. Landry. Close enough. Don't text and drive. Maybe you just think that's my name. That's fine. Landry. I was getting a little rowdy at the bowling alley last night. Y'all need to calm down. We're just bowling. That's all we're doing. Don't understand that one.
Did y'all have some issues with some folks?
No, we didn't have any issues that I knew of.
Apparently someone had an issue.
Quad Stomp was Jay Cutler's, not that one. Signature pose in bodybuilding competitions.
Jay Cutler, the quarterback?
No, not that one.
Oh. It's like, wait, what?
Put it in the text. Not that one.
Definitely missed that.
Tim says, what are your thoughts about Lamar Jackson suing Dale Earnhardt Jr. over the number 8? Shaking my head. Thank you, Tim.
It's dumb.
Also, he's going after Troy Aikman for using 8 on some alcohol.
It's a number.
Zach in Huntsville says, we have to see it for science, Pat. Put 100 on it.
Well, you're really only putting 50 on it because Landrum's got the other 50.
Well, I was going to say,
I have withdrawn.
If my teammates would participate, but I'm not doing that myself. I'm not a Tampa Bay Rays fan. I was doing it for the purpose of the entertainment on the show.
You could be a Rays fan.
Keep the text coming in, 205-834-9450. I'm just curious of odd things that go up for bid and this is just because I told you guys I was watching like a 90s encapsulation documentary last night, everything that happened throughout the 90s. Anything with that Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton deal, did any of that stuff ever, Pat, go up for auction?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember having any of that.
What, like the desk?
Or the dress?
Or the dress or anything. Cigar.
I think she has the dress, correct?
That's what I was wondering. I don't know. I could just see somebody paying a lot of money for that.
You know what this desk is? How many times did you break that out of the party? I got to show you this desk.
Don't sit on it. Don't sit on it.
Wasn't Clinton on the phone with an Alabama congressman when this was supposedly going on?
That seems right.
Mm-hmm. I think that was the Alabama connection.
You come home and your wife's pledging it.
No!
Yeah.
No!
Still had the musk on it.
Oh. Now you've wiped away all the sin. Roll Tide Rob. Hello.
All right. Hey, Pat, I want to help you get that thing, bud. Are we still in the running or not?
No, I mean, you can log on to eBay on your account, Rob, and you can bid on it if you
I don't have an eBay account. Y'all know now the wife would, but hey, Landrum, did I lose all my $12 I gave you a few months ago?
Yeah, where's this $12, by the way? Did you increase that to $25 by now? What have you done with his money?
Who, me?
Put that towards the Tropicana Field thing.
Yeah.
I got hit up by a panhandler outside of a gas station. No kidding. And I usually don't carry cash, and I remembered I had your $12, so that went to buy something.
Is that tax deductible for Rob now? Since you gave it to the needy?
I don't know.
No.
I'd like to say it went for a good cause, but I have no idea what he bought.
Probably went in and bought a pack of cigarettes.
No, you were just going to bet those $12 for me against what you bet. But anyway, it no worries. If I didn't have it to give, I wouldn't have given.
Well, I tried to give it back to you three times. At that point, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, how bad you want that baby?
I really have lost complete interest in it by now.
I've seen. Look, he says that, Rob. He says that. He wants
Well,
it. He wants it.
I'll give. Hey, if $25 will get you over the hump, I got it.
I think this is a scam, to be honest with you, Rob, and I don't want to be a part of it.
Okay.
And I mean, that's not directed to you. I appreciate you offering up the money, but we have done unscientific tests during the last 2.5 hours, and it appears that this is a scam because every time that we go up, there's nobody else is bidding on this stuff, and then all of a sudden we do it, and then it goes up $1. So no, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah. All right. Well,
but thank you.
Well,
thank you for the offer.
My first thing was I was just going to invest my $12 if I still had it, put Landrum on that, and then double it. That's all I was going to do. So,
well, that's very nice of you, and I appreciate that. And sorry to hear
you paid
that
for a hot meal for someone who was less fortunate. So.
But you just admitted that you don't know where that menu went.
I like to think it was a hot meal, Pat.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks, Rob.
All right, you guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a great afternoon. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Thank you so much.
A pack of smokes and a bottle of wine. Who knows?
Yeah. Can you get both for $12?
Three-man front continues. Jocks 94.5.
Well, if you tuned into Jocks this morning at 6 a.m., you had Conrad Van Order giving his lock of the year from Major League Baseball. And he said, take the over today because you got two pitchers that has gone over 7 ERA for both Bryce Elder and Miles Michaelis of the Cardinals and the Braves. Both of the starting pitchers, Landrum, are now out of the game. And just for a point of reference for Conrad, those two pitchers that he was telling you to bet your hard-earned money on the over today, they have gone 12 innings. They've given up 1 earned run, and it now goes to the bullpen for both teams. So Elder gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings. Miles Michaelis went 0 runs earned, and I told everyone to take the under. So.
And I think it's worth noting, almost in the same breath, Pat, Conrad told us that the basement for wins next season for Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide was 11.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I actually said 12.
Okay. 12.
Now, there's still 3 innings left, Conrad, for the...
Hey, and if this series tells us anything, it's gotten a little crazy.
It has.
Late in the
No,
games.
you are right. You are absolutely correct.
I forgot to mention this morning that when you followed my advice, it was going to be 1-0 late in the ball game, and you're really going to have to wait for those runs to come. So this is all part of the plan. Never in doubt.
So I need to check out and see what the current live line is in this game and see if there's see how much that they have lowered the run total.
Is it 4.5, 3.5?
Well, let's see.
Is Snicker growing a Fu Man?
Yeah, he's growing some type of business down low. Not sure what's going on there. Under his chin. Had to clarify.
Yeah, thank you.
How do you know that, Pat?
I was clarifying that. That's what Chipper Jones said on the postgame show. Let's see. That's reloading right now.
By the way, appreciate you because of the conversation we had in the last segment. People sending in their best Monica Lewinsky jokes.
There were some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Currently in the top of the 7th inning, 2 outs, still 1-0 St. Louis.
The 3-2 to Mason Wynn.
Oh, he lined
Serves
out.
that one right at Olsen.
You're like 30 seconds behind me, by the way.
Am I?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm watching mine legally.
I'm watching mine legally. I'm watching off DirecTV.
I'm just glad I got the Cardinals quit sending me emails.
Paul Goldschmidt has 2 RBIs already today.
Does he really?
Yep, good day so far.
How are the rest of the former Cardinals faring?
I don't know. Do y'all have any more besides Goldschmidt?
No, it's just him.
Just him?
Well,
Just him. No more Harrison Bader.
Ozuna hasn't done anything.
He had 4 walks last night.
Need a long ball. Need a long ball.
No, be patient. Okay, let's see here.
Oh, sorry, that was a replay. But it was not. It was not in replay form.
No, I know they can trick you sometimes.
They trick you
I
a little bit.
I know.
Like, wait, what?
The current run line for both teams, it is 3.5.
Over.
Are you doubling down?
Doubling down.
Double down.
Doubling down on the over. God, that game's going to end 1-0, isn't it?
Unfortunately for the Braves, yes, it is. Yep. We'll have bases loaded, bottom of the 9th with no outs, and we'll find a way not to score. That has been how it's gone the first, 24 games of the season, something like that. All right, we continue. Hour number 4, Pat ponders. He's got questions. We've got answers. You can play along. We continue. 3-man front here on this Wednesday. Jocks 94.5, JocksFM.com, the Jocks 94.5 app, and Jocks TV.
We welcome you back in. It's the fourth hour of Three Man Front here on Jocks 94.5. A lot of draft talk today, but also following the Cardinals and the Braves wrapping up a three-game series over in Atlanta. Looks like a one-out double for the Braves. They got a runner in scoring position now with one out. It's a 1-0 game as the Cardinals lead. You can listen to that game in its entirety over on the Jocks Family Networks over on 100.5 FM. 1-800-239-WJOX. The courtesy GMC text line is 205-834-9450. We do this every day, brought to you by courtesy GMC. It's time for 5 questions. I pin, and the guys and gals give me their answers. This is Pat Ponders. Brought to you by courtesy GMC and Trustful. Don't drive anywhere else. Drive to Trustful. Get your best value you're going to get on any new vehicle there by GMC, courtesybirmingham.com. Question number 1. The last 2 seasons at Colorado, Travis Hunter has played a total of 2,625 snaps. The question is, can Hunter play both ways in the NFL?
Oh. Not that they would. I know that he's already said it's a no deal if he doesn't get to play, but as you get older, I think your body starts to break down a little bit more, and then just given the nature of the league, you're going up against better competition. No. I hate to bet against him because I love watching him play, but no.
I think he could for a year or two, but the reality for a lot of these teams and whoever drafts him is, do you want a guy that could potentially be elite on both sides of the ball for 5 years, or a guy that could be elite at one of those positions for 12 to 15 years? And I think you're going to see a lot of teams that want to value their investment, and they're going to go the other way, and they're going to want him to focus on one side of the ball. And I don't think there's any problem with that. I mean, heck, look at what...
Has he said which side he would rather play on?
I think he said wide receiver. I mean, look at what they're making right now. You could make over $30 million a year at that position. I mean, not that cornerbacks are not making any money, but yeah, I think he could, but I don't think he will.
I think he'll try, especially in the beginning, but I think in the long run, he'll have to pick one or the other, or just wherever he finds his best fit. Because, he made it clear that if he can't play both, he would just quit football. However, I don't think any of us believe that's actually the case.
Question number 2. We asked our audience today on the Twitter poll question, which event in Birmingham would they attend if it came here? Now, if you were in charge of recruiting big-time events to the Magic City, could be any event, sport or otherwise, what would you go recruit for the city of Birmingham?
See, for me personally, I've always just wanted there to be, I guess, bigger, like you don't get to see big artists play concerts in Birmingham. Mm-hmm. That would be what I would want. I would want to find a way to attract bigger name artists that they would want to come. And because a lot of them, they're going to Atlanta, they're going to Nashville. It's right here in between, finding a way to get bigger name acts to come in and perform concerts, especially maybe with the new amphitheater that's going to happen. But that's always something that I've been jealous of with other cities.
I would love to have a golf event come back and be a major championship like we had at Shoal Creek. Whether it's the PGA, a U.S. Open. Now, I know we've had some big golf events, but that would be great. And Birmingham is really the state of Alabama. It's a golf state.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember being 11 years old, going out there, and it was just it was a magical week.
The PGA Championship.
Yeah.
See, I'm with Conrad. I would go concerts because I can't tell you how many concerts I've wanted to go to that have been on a weeknight, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday in Atlanta and Nashville. And obviously, I don't want to drive all the way to Atlanta or Nashville on a weeknight and then, try to come to work the next day. So probably concerts for me.
Yeah, y'all are both right. I mean, Birmingham really lacks the big headliners.
They do.
We got Garth at Protective. That was cool.
But more like that. I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying. More of that. I mean, we
that.
got that when it opened, and that's it, right? That's it. So Yeah, because I mean, Drake was supposed to do a concert here, but then it got canceled for some reason. Because that shocked me when I was like, Drake's coming to Birmingham, but it didn't end up happening. But yeah, we need more big name artists.
It was wild being down in Gulf Shores this past week, and they have the Hangout Music Festival, and they have the old little, I don't know what you call them, marquee little signs that have that particular year and all the artists are written out, and some of the headliner acts that they've had at that. Whoa.
Oh, I went to that 2 or 3 years in a row. But yeah, I mean, I saw Kendrick Lamar there. I saw the Killers. Trying to think of who else. Who else would know?
You got
Travis
Morgan
Scott,
Wallen this year playing on a Sunday, and let's just say that the people that ponying up the money are keeping their fingers crossed.
Yeah. I think they had the Red Hot Chili Peppers one year. Like, they've got a wide variety, and it's big name people.
Next question. For the first time in Phil Mickelson's illustrious career, he is now ranked outside the top 1,000 golfers playing professionally. He's now ranked 1,025. Where would you consider Mickelson on the all-time list of golfers?
He's a top 20.
Yeah, not top 10.
No.
It's the gambling that got him, Pat. It was that gambling.
Yeah, see, I was going to go top 20, top 25. It's actually interesting you asked that because I thought the same thing with Rory when he just won the Masters. Like, is Rory a top 10 golfer of all time? And I kind of, going and seeing what people were saying on social media, that wasn't like a shoe-in. So I feel like there's a lot of people that go back and look at older golfers and hold them in a very high regard. And so it's kind of tough for some people. But yeah, I think Phil, 15 to 20.
I'm going to go 15.
Somewhere in there.
I think the coolest thing ever was that just out of nowhere winning a major just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. I'm sure
It's
he
just odd
appreciated
looking
that.
up and seeing that the first time in his career since he went professional that he's not one of the top 1,000.
How old is Phil now? Is he in his late 50s?
No, he would be
early 50s?
Early 50s? Mid 50s?
He's 54.
Okay.
1,025 now. That's his current ranking.
He's going to keep playing, though.
Yeah, that live contract. Paying him good money.
Usually those guys they get a little bit rattled because they're used to live tour and the atmosphere that they play in.
And the format's different.
And then they come over and they play in one of those events, especially an event like Augusta National, and it's like, oh gosh, why is everybody quiet? There's no music going.
And I gotta wear pants.
And I gotta wear pants.
I can't wear shorts.
Because in Live, they only play what? They play three
right?
rounds.
3 rounds.
Not 4.
Correct. I mean, so you get paid more money.
And you work less.
You work less, and you can basically wear whatever you want to.
Yep.
And just kind of hang out.
But it's blood money.
Yep. You just can't be seen out in public with a woman.
Was that part of the rules?
I just think certain parts that they travel to, they don't allow it.
Like Dubai?
I was about to say they have to be covered, right? Yeah.
Even ankles.
Cankles?
There goes his website.
Well, that's why I brought it up.
Question number 4.
That's premium content.
A baseball autographed by Pope Francis is being auctioned off to the highest bidder in the wake of his death. And it could end up selling for up to 6 figures. Do you have an autograph of a famous person on an obscure item, not necessarily associated with their fame?
So I have, this is super random. I have a napkin that is autographed by Chris Pratt, and it was from before he was obviously one of the most famous actors in the world. It was before that even.
Wow.
It was, okay, so this is a long story, or not a long story, but so my grandparents were in Los Angeles, and they were eating at some restaurant, and their waiter was Chris Pratt, but this was before he was famous. And so when they, they were talking to him throughout the meal, and he's like, yeah, I'm trying to be an actor. I moved out here from wherever, and I've lived out here, and I'm just doing a waiting job in between auditions. And so my grandmother said, well, sign it, autograph a napkin or something for me, and then one day if you make it big, I'll remember this moment. And a handful of years ago, she randomly found it, and she goes, have you ever heard of the actor Chris Pratt? And this was right after like Guardians of the Galaxy, and like when he was superstar now. And I was like, can I have that? She goes, yeah, you can have it. I forgot that I even had it. And so my grandmother gave it to me, and it's in a shadow box frame, but it's a Chris Pratt autograph on a napkin from when he was a waiter.
I'm just
he was
curious. Have you checked to see like what the potential value is of something like that?
No, and I thought about it, but also, I mean, like my grandmother passed away now, and so it's one of those things.
So it's not like you're looking to get away. I was just curious if you knew how much it would potentially be worth.
I don't know.
I've got a Vanna White autograph on the back of a boarding pass.
Were you on the flight with her?
My dad was.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And he used to travel a ton for work, and yeah, he had some really cool experiences, but I think probably flying from LA to Atlanta with Vanna White sitting next to him in first class was probably right there at the top. He said that she was great. Wonderful lady.
The only thing that I have autographed is my old phone case from my phone like 6 years ago, and Billy Currington signed it, the country music singer.
Nice.
Where were you?
I was in Nashville. I
you just
love
ran
Billy
into him?
Currington. No, it was like the end of his concert. I waited because I love Billy Currington. I was like, will you sign my phone case? That was all I had. I'm not going to give him like my arm or something.
Yeah.
What about you?
I guess I've said this before on the show. I guess really the only thing that I have Steve Spurrier's autograph, and it's on a Tampa Bay Bandits USFL helmet.
Yeah.
Which he was the head coach of the Bandits in the old USFL. And when he signed it for me, when he was in town playing golf, he was like, I've never signed one of these before in my entire life.
That's funny.
He was like, I didn't even know they made Tampa Bay Bandits helmets. So then that's obscure. But Pope Francis signing a baseball.
It's pretty random. So have y'all ever had an encounter with a celebrity where you were trying to get an autograph and they turned you down, or they just ignored you or something like that?
I don't think so.
No, I mean, it was the PGA Championship. It was Seve Ballesteros. He went out of his way to be a jerk. He was the only one that week too, but that was fine.
I was in an elevator with Snoop Dogg when I was in 4th grade, but he didn't sign anything of mine.
Did he smell like weed?
I'm back in the day probably, but I didn't know what that was when I was 10.
Fair.
So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at a Yankees game when I was a kid, and I was about 3 feet away from Alex Rodriguez, who is like my childhood hero. And he walked right past me as I had a ball and everything was screaming for me, just looked at me and walked right past me. And I was like, this is devastating for me. But also, I guess I get it now.
One of the cooler stories that I remember, it was back during one of the old Bruno's Memorial Golf Classic. It was back in the day when you would have 2 days of superstars, sports stars and actors, musicians. They would come in and play in the Pro-Am for 2 days. Now I think it's just the 1 day. And so Bart Starr was one of the individuals that played in the Pro-Am, and he was on our show. And somebody had come up to Bart, and they wanted Bart to sign a Green Bay Packers helmet who had already been signed by Brett Favre. And Bart Starr had a policy, and I thought it was really cool, that he would not sign another helmet or another piece of memorabilia that had already been signed by another athlete because he thought it was disrespecting the other athlete. So he would not sign it. Now, if you just brought him a Green Bay Packers helmet and it had not been signed by anyone, he of course would be, very accommodating and sign it. And he was always respectful, and he would explain that to the individual that came up, and they already had the Brett Favre.
He was such a gentleman.
Absolutely.
And hearing that he would, if he met anyone out anywhere, he would take note, and he would actually make a point to send them a personal note from him to them, just saying he enjoyed meeting them. First class.
That's today's Pat Ponders, brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful. Love to hear from you on the Courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450.
$119 three-man front just wrapped up another edition of Pat Ponders. Any portion of the show, you can always find it there. Three-man front podcast at jocksfm.com. Appreciate our listeners there in Montgomery on Jock 740. Also our listeners in North Alabama, Huntsville, surrounding area on the UMP, and all of you watching on Jocks TV. You can find it there on YouTube. Just search Jocks 945 TV and all of our programming will appear. How about our friends at Prize Picks? Prize Picks, that is your best way to interact in daily fantasy sports, and you can be a winner. It's really simple, and it covers all sports across the board. Just go to Prize Picks, download the app. It's free and easy. Then you set up your account, and once you have your account set up and you enter promo code WJOX, your first $5 play, win or lose on your player projections, you're going to get $50 instantly back to your account. That's right. Enter promo code WJOX with Prize Picks. Your first $5 play, win or lose, you're going to get $50 instantly back to your account. So you have basketball playoffs going on right now. You have baseball going on right now, but you also maybe have some special stuff for the draft that's coming up tomorrow. Prize Picks is your answer, and you can be a winner. And a lot of our Jocks listeners have taken me up on the offer. They've entered promo code WJOX, and they're thoroughly enjoying it. So today, I'm going to go Major League Baseball. I'm going to Shohei Ohtani. The Dodgers taking on the Cubs. 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI for Shohei. I'm going to go more. What about you? More or less, Conrad?
I'm going to go more. I know my advice hasn't been great today, but I'm going to go more.
No, it's fine. It's fine. My Bassett pick yesterday was terrible. So
it happens to the best
I
of
went
us.
more than 5 strikeouts. He struck out 3 Astros. Congratulations.
So more than 1.5 combined hits, runs, RBIs.
Correct. Okay. And then we're going to go a little SEC flavor from Vanderbilt alum, Kumar Rocker, as he pitches for the Rangers, taking on the A's there in that dump of a field that Pat described in Sacramento. 4 strikeouts, more or less. I'm going to go more for Big Kumar.
More.
I'm going to go more than that as well. So we're going more. If both of those players hit more on their projections, we are winners. You can be a winner too. Just download the Prize Picks app. Make sure you enter promo code WJOX. First $5 play, win or lose, you're going to get $50 instantly. You can't beat that. We appreciate our friends at Prize Picks.
So Pete Nakos is reporting from On3 that another offensive player from California is leaving. Another wide receiver.
Doesn't fit Harson's system.
So before today, there were 7 of their top offensive players had gotten to the portal, and most of them had already found other homes.
Including 5 running backs.
Yes.
And your quarterback.
But now another wide receiver.
Okay. Without doing a deep dive into Cal football, do you think that this is just coincidence, guys?
I'm going to say this is not a good sign.
I think I read over the weekend where Ron Rivera he's the general manager of Cal football, the former NFL head coach, where he has been trying to calm everyone down. That apparently has not helped.
Well, I guess your only other choice would be add to it and throw fuel on the fire and be like, no, everybody, you need to hit the panic alarm because all of our production is gone. But man, realize the portal's competitive, but it's not like Cal's operating with a budget. You just go out there and just start plucking former 5-stars off of rosters.
Maybe it's going to be a fullback-centric offense. Did we consider that? It's going to be a completely different look than anything you're seeing right now. Imagine the Wildcat, but it's a fullback.
But it's just a fullback.
That's it.
Maybe a couple of fullbacks.
You need the blockers.
Go back to the old Notre Dame box.
A lot of 2 tight end sets. They're going to be in there to block.
Just seems like a lot of good players, a lot of good production on that side of the ball.
I mean,
and it just so happens that Brian Harson's the new offensive coordinator.
I mean, Mendoza was a good quarterback. Jay Knott was one of the better running backs still, returning to college foot. Like these were some dudes. Like Cal could have been pretty decent this year, I think. And I mean, maybe they still will be, but.
So just a couple of days ago, Rivera attempted to calm an anxious Cal fan base by confirming the level of power he possesses and that he has a plan that is in place to replenish the roster. His comments were relayed on X by the Athletics' Michael Silver. Quoting now, people are wondering if I have the power to make decisions, Rivera said. Yes, I do. I'm driving the car. Chancellor Lyons and the athletic director Jim Knowlton and head coach Justin Wilcox are in the car with me. We are all charting a course, but I'm driving, end of quote.
Maybe get a new driver.
My question is, what kind of car?
As far as the transfer portal losses, Rivera said, we have a plan. We are fortifying key positions as we speak, and we're excited about the team that we are building.
Where are those said fortifications? We still wait at TBD on those?
Well, maybe it was addition by subtraction.
And they're getting how much money from the ACC this year?
Not as much as the likes of North Carolina and some other folks.
Were they not on the zero revenue model? Were they getting a smaller cut still? They weren't getting zero like SMU?
No, SMU was the only one.
Okay,
Stanford and Cal was getting, as a matter of fact, I think Stanford and Cal was also getting a little bit of travel.
That's right. You're right.
Reimbursement.
Is Cal still operating at a deficit of something crazy
Oh, yeah, it's stupid.
in their athletic department?
If anybody should like opt out and not be part of the house settlement and not pay any more money, it would be them. I mean, really. I mean, how they can afford it it's amazing.
So, well, okay, so this number may it may be larger now. This is going back to 2022, 2023. At that point, the Cal Athletic Department had a $439 million deficit, or they were in debt.
And
That's
that was 2023?
that was 2 years ago.
I got a feeling that did not get paid down a good bit
No.
last year or two.
I would think that now that you're a member of a league and you got to go across the country almost every other weekend, that would only increase. Maybe somebody will buy up that debt.
Any guesses of who has the second most debt among public athletic departments in the country?
Second most debt?
Hold on.
Similar part of the country. Similar part of the country.
But I feel like similar part of the country, that would be misleading if it was still in the same state.
It is not.
Okay.
UNLV,
No, it is somewhere very near and dear to one of our hearts.
Arizona State.
Correct.
Oh no.
But the good news is that they are only at a $310 million deficit. So Cal has that lead by 9 figures.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Just shut down.
Just wait till Scatterboo
shut down the
gets
lazy
drafted.
river and the bubble room.
Start charging entry fee, membership fees for the lazy river.
Scatterboo will get a big contract in the NFL.
He's going to pay it back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's going to give back. There's no issue whatsoever.
That's wild. Almost $500 million in debt.
I'll tell you what's really, well.
What's Aaron Rodgers doing with his money? Jared Goff? They got hundreds of millions in the bank, right?
I think Aaron Rodgers probably donating to what?
Ayahuasca research?
Yeah. Research. Trying to grow that thing. Maybe he's invested in a mushroom farm or mushroom forest.
It would not surprise me at all if in 10 years he's the Willie Nelson of psychedelics or whatever, mushrooms.
What if he
teas.
comes to Alabama and tries to buy DeSoto Cavern?
So he can live there in the darkness?
Just a thought. I don't know.
We will get to your text messages. Your phone calls are welcome. 1-800-239-WJOX. Well, the Braves have just taken the lead over the Cardinals, a 3-run bomb in the bottom of the 8th inning. So the Bravos now up 4-1. They had runners at second and third, and the ball had not left the infield. They had 2 infield hits. Cardinals could not make a play on it, and then there was 1 out, and then this is a pinch hit 3-run bomb, right?
Yeah. Eli White.
And he did that off of Fernandez, who was a really good a really good bullpen guy for us last year. And this year his ERA is like in the 6s. So that was not a big surprise.
As far as mustaches go.
Oh, he's got a great mustache.
He has got a good one.
It looked a lot better last year when he had an ERA of like in the 2s.
That one,
Not so much
that
this year.
particular mustache and color would make Ryan Day jealous.
I think that's natural, don't you?
Yes.
I don't think that's
no, his is natural.
Yes, not Ryan Day's.
No. His wife can say all she wants. He's getting that thing dyed without her knowing.
Well, let me tell you about Diamonds Direct because it's finally here, the Diamonds Direct annual spring sale. You can take an extra 20% off on already re-owned prices, plus book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. Yes, that's 20% off plus $100 off store-wide. So go in and explore an expanded selection of engagement ring settings. They have his and hers wedding bands, thousands of them as well. Plus must-have fine jewelry and so much more. But you better hurry in because this limited time sale ends on April 27th, and they're even open this Sunday. So don't miss out. Go and visit them at diamondsdirect.com.
So I apologize. I gave you some wrong information, Landrum. I said that Fernandez's ERA was, what did I say, in the 7s? Is that what I said?
Yes.
It's at 11.
Okay.
It's 11.42.
7-Eleven, baby.
Yeah, but the mustache still stands.
No, it's a great looking mustache, but unfortunately, yeah. That ERA is kind of the ERA that you really, as a relief pitcher, you really can't. I mean, you're done. You're done for the year because you're not going to have enough innings.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, every appearance for the rest of the season, you could shut down the opposition and not give up anything, and it might be a 10.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like
it doesn't tell the story. You might have just had one bad, and the manager said, "Hey, you're gonna have to ride it out."
But unfortunately for him, this is not just one bad outing.
Right.
This is a collection of really bad So
well, it's like, who did you give the bomb up to? Eli White. Who?
Yeah. Look at his baseball card. So Braves are now 3 outs away from hitting the road with a very good homestand. With only 1 loss. So that was exactly what the Braves needed as they try to right the ship. The Courtesy GMC text line is open at 205-834-9450.
Now, we got some really good information coming in on the eBay auction. I don't know how that's going, Pat, but this one says somebody probably has a higher bid already on it. Whenever someone puts a minimum bid on it, it automatically outbids if that other person has set it higher. They go on to say, example, current bid is 40. Someone has their max bid set to 100. You place a bid for 41. It automatically outbids you to 42.
Okay,
That's
now
what's going on
that
here.
makes. See, back in the day, you had to do it all yourself on eBay. You had to sit there and look at it and update it by the second.
It's still at $40, by the way.
It makes sense. I mean, because you might have the seller's friend has set on their eBay that I will go a max of $45. And so every time that I bid 40 or 41, then it's automatically going to say the highest bid now is 42.
So the other person, though, that is bidding, the other bidder, they're in the lead right now.
Yes.
It's not you.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Jimmy says there's a show on Hulu called American Crime Story. They do a season on the Clinton Lewinsky story, and it's fairly accurate. Worth a watch if you're a history geek like myself. I am a history geek, and so is Pat. Can't speak for the other two.
It was a wild time to do sports talk radio when all that was going on. It was quite a time, especially this time of the year and in the summer.
More of an outcry than what we had yesterday with the.
Who was he standing
President?
with? What world leader was he standing with when the guy asked him the awkward question? And he did the little Clinton smile, a little grin. And then that was before it came out, where he was basically still denying it. And then they had him dead to rights. But then they determined that it was not an impeachable offense. Crimson Convict on most interesting autograph ever. He said, wedding card to my grandmother from Lucky Luciano.
Ooh, that's cool.
Oh, my.
Wow. This text reads, I've got a Randy Jackson autograph on a samurai sword.
Now, that's...
Oh, no.
Is that... Okay, let us know. What is it?
It's a Step Brothers joke.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
Yeah, he holds up the samurai. He said, pretty recognizable autograph. Who is it? Randy Jackson from American Idol. All I had on me was the samurai sword, and you're not going to get Randy Jackson's autograph.
Gotcha.
Yes, I've seen that movie 1,000 times.
This one reads, I got a few mini Auburn football helmets and Auburn footballs that are signed by Bo Jackson when I was 5 or 6. About the time I was 12, I started to think how realistic it was that I had 4 Bo Jackson autographs. From then till now, I fully believe my parents were plagiarizing Bo Jackson's John Hancock. Oh.
I had somebody give me, when I was in high school, somebody gave me a really old baseball that had an autograph on it. And they were like, I know that you can't make out who this autograph is from, but I swear to you, this is a baseball autographed by Babe Ruth. It's not.
It's not.
It's like, cool, so you just gave me $1 million piece of memorabilia for free. Thank you. No. It's a cool story, though.
If I remember Babe Ruth's autograph, it looks like a, should I say, someone who just learned to write cursive.
I was about to say, it's not a pretty signature.
I'm getting updates from our very annoying. That's Bart Heitch, by the way. Andrew says, let Pat know I asked Paul about Suzanne Summers yesterday. Paul Feinbaum. He mentioned meeting her in a bar in California, then laughed and said he'll have to tell you that story off the air. He then laughingly thanked Pat for throwing him under the bus again. That's our Pat.
Yeah, I had somebody text me. But I was texting with Paul yesterday. He was responding. So we always do a lot of texting during the show.
Not so much on Monday when David Hale was doing.
Wow. Okay. Pat texts into the show and he says, I have Charles Manson's autograph.
Oh, boy.
What?
Technically, it's an entire 4+ page letter that's signed.
From...
yeah.
Okay, I need context to this. Like,
Pat,
that he
we
wrote...
need follow-up text, please, sir.
Yeah, who
Or
is the
lady
letter
or
to?
man.
How do you have this letter? What is in the letter?
Technically, it could have been.
Is it written in blood? I just have so many questions. I don't know if... I mean, that's a cool thing to have, but also, I don't know if I would want that.
Would you classify it as cool?
I don't know. Like, it's rare. Maybe rare is a better way to put it.
Yeah, rare. Yeah, don't go with cool.
Not cool. Rare.
Rare.
I do have some bad news for the audience. That Conrad's lock of the year in Major League Baseball, which was over 9 runs today between the Braves and Cardinals, it is now official. Braves win 4-1. So there you go.
Very nice.
It's good to see Landrum smile again.
Oh,
It is.
I hadn't smiled very much this year.
By beating a team that is 2 and now 11 on the road.
You get them where you can, Pat.
Pat's the most supportive Cardinals fan I've ever met.
Going back to no big concerts, no big headliners coming to Birmingham. This one says, what are you talking about, no big concerts? Napalm Death is on Monday. Is that an actual group?
I would not be surprised if it is. I would love to know what genre of music that is.
Hastings, our buddy, who visited us yesterday. It was great to see Hastings. Ron Rivera is driving like he's on a 5-star crime spree in Grand Theft Auto, casualties everywhere. Tim says maybe there's a secret portal we don't know about that Cal is getting players from. You know, like the secret menu that some fast food restaurants have.
Maybe so.
Yeah, maybe so.
Have you ever ordered something off a secret menu? I always feel weird when I see those things. Like, I feel like if I went into a restaurant and ordered it, they just look at me like I'm dumb, so I've never done it.
Landrum, you can't say DeSoto Caverns anymore. Apparently, some snowflake got offended.
What is it now? The Caverns? What?
Well,
Yeah, it's still DeSoto Caverns.
DeSoto, yeah. That's where we went on a field trip.
Yep. That's where everyone went on a field trip in the state of Alabama.
It's amazing. I didn't have more gut rot as a kid because you go on those field trips and you'd pack your sandwich. And I my go-to as a kid was bologna, cheese, well, mayonnaise and mustard. But the man, and, you know, just sit there in the brown sack and you would eat, and I would take 2 sandwiches. I'd eat one, and then I'd save one for later, or 1.5, and then save some for. But the fact that I didn't get with just that stuff just sitting there.
Well, I was about to
in a
say,
hot bus.
I mean, I was about to say, depending on where you're going, it's sitting on a hot bus for an hour at least.
It was like partially melted a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of gross, but
it was so good.
Oh, there's nothing like being a kid and waking up on field trip day and going to school. You just had a little more pep in your step.
Yeah. Pete Rose autograph on a napkin.
That's a good one.
I have Lance Armstrong, Peekaboo Street, Bo Jackson, and Ken Griffey Jr. all signed a tornado book when they did their ride through Pleasant Grove. Oh, Bo Bikes Bama. Very nice.
Okay. That's cool.
BB says, I have Jerry Springer's autograph from right after he was caught writing a check to a hooker. BB follows up, I was not the hooker. Thank you, BB. I don't think we were questioning that.
Yeah.
Majestic Caverns.
That's what it's called now?
I don't know, I guess.
I didn't know it had undergone a name change.
Andrew says DeSoto Caverns reminds me of my ex-wife. What?
I'll be darned. Yeah, it is renamed Majestic Caverns. That's their website and
new
everything.
owners.
It's closed right now. If you were wanting to go out there, you can't.
Can we find out who the new owners are? Is it Aaron Rodgers? Oh, wow. Can't tell you how I got it, but I have a letter from Bear Bryant to Johnny Majors congratulating him on a win.
Very cool.
Jimmy says I have President Carter's autographed book. And this one coming in, I've got Stormy Daniels autographed brassiere.
Interesting.
That's the most unique one.
And these are the ones I could read.
I was about to say, that's the most unique one, if that's true.
Thank you for the text, 205-834-9450.
You need to call Travis Lloyd and his great team over at Abide Roofing. How about no strings attached, no pressure at all? How about a free roof inspection? And based on the rain that we got in central Alabama yesterday, over 3.5 inches in some spots in metro Birmingham, heavy winds, a lot of damage. You need to call Travis over at Abide Roofing because they can send a team out to your home. They want to get on your roof. They want to be able to take a look at your situation and give you an idea if you've got some loose shingles, if you've got some leaks potentially that's coming down the path. Trust me, folks, I'm speaking from experience because a few years back, Travis and the Abide Roofing team, they took care of me, got me a brand new roof, even when my insurance company was being problematic. So that's why it's so important to be able to call someone that you can trust and it's going to shoot straight with you, and they're going to be an ambassador for you. Travis was right there helping me through every single step. I 100% trust these guys. They're licensed, bonded, insured. They're the real deal. Your roof protects everything that you care about. Don't wait for that leak to show up and then create a bigger problem. Be proactive. Call Abide Roofing today, your local roofing professionals, for that free roof inspection and get a peace of mind that you can have by knowing that your roof is taken care of by the very best. That's Abide Roofing, 205-922-7134. Or go to their website, abideroof.com.
By the way, our buddy Bart Heights, who's on that 96 Final Four team, Mississippi State, he said he's got a Final Four hat that says Mississippi on it. Like a misprint. That's rare. We'll continue. 3-man front, Jocks 94.5.
It's 150 Jocks 94.5. A reminder, we'll be at Trim Tab tomorrow night from 6 until 8. Hopefully, you can come hang out with us and enjoy the NFL draft. We'll have much more on the NFL draft tomorrow on the program. We will talk to Rodney Orr and Rob Pate. We'll get the Alabama and Auburn perspective of things. It's interesting that now Tyler Booker on a lot of the mock drafts, he has now jumped in front of Jahad Campbell. So Alabama could have two players, and depending on if somebody trades up in the late of the first round, whether Jalen Milroe will be able to crack the first round. It'll be the 17th consecutive year that Alabama will have a player taken in the first round of the NFL draft.
It's just surprising because going into the year, Tyler Booker was a lock to essentially be a top 15, top 20 pick. And then, I mean, I didn't think he did anything this year performance-wise to drop him down. But, I mean, I've seen some people that have him as low as number 50 on their big board in terms of the best overall prospects for the draft. So good to see him back up there in the first half of the first round where, in my opinion, he deserves to be. He's an excellent player.
Also, this was a story that came out a couple weeks ago. There was some drama going on between the Cincinnati Bengals and Hamilton County. That's the county in Cincinnati that actually owns the stadium that they play in. Well, news came out yesterday that Hamilton County, they have struck a deal with the Cincinnati Bengals to spend $185 million to improving the stadium that was thought to be in jeopardy of Cincinnati maybe leaving. They could spend up to close to $830 million on the stadium to try to make sure that the Bengals are completely happy. And the reason I bring this up because a couple weeks ago, Las Vegas actually, they listed odds of potential landing spots for the Cincinnati franchise. Number one, according to Las Vegas, was St. Louis, Missouri, which makes sense. Austin, San Antonio came in at number 2, according to Las Vegas. Salt Lake City was the third most likely landing spot for Cincinnati. Oklahoma City, Toronto, Mexico City, Orlando, Portland, and Memphis had the same odds at 12-1. Louisville, Kentucky at 16-1. And coming in with the 10 best odd to make it to the NFL, to be an NFL city, was Birmingham, Alabama.
Woo! Top 10, baby.
Birmingham was 18-1, according to Las Vegas, of landing the Cincinnati Bengals. And, of course, now it appears that, which we all knew was going to happen, Cincinnati, they threatened, hey, we're going to leave. Same thing happened back in the day. Y'all might not remember this, but the San Francisco Giants was playing in Candlestick Park, and they threatened, we're moving the team. We're moving to Tampa. We're leaving. And San Francisco said, well, hold up. We got an idea. Let's build you a stadium out on this wonderful part of the water, and you guys will be happy forever. And the San Francisco Giants stayed put, and they could have been Tampa. They were going to be the Tampa Bay Giants, but they stayed put. They threatened to leave. They got a new stadium. So Hamilton County has now blinked in regards to their standoff with the Bengals. So unfortunately, that 18-1 ticket, if you purchased it for Birmingham to be an NFL city, you just lost your money.
It did not work, though, for the Oakland Athletics, if we can remember when their fans, after it had already been announced and their fans showed up for one of those final games, and they packed a bunch of people in there last year.
It just would have been funny watching a lot of people here have to wrap their heads around rooting for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and guys like that. I mean, after hating them in college, probably.
We've done shows like this in the past, Landrum and I have, and I mean, Vegas put these odds for a particular reason. Biggest issue with Birmingham is we don't have a stadium for it. Yeah. Yes, we have Protective Stadium, and the stadium can be expanded for another, 10,000, something like that?
Yeah, but what's the minimum requirement?
Well, I don't think it's a minimum requirement. I think the problem with the Protective Stadium is they don't have enough suites.
Yeah.
And with other things that the NFL would request or need. So you would have to build a whole brand new stadium in Birmingham. But to say that a place like Oklahoma City or Orlando or Portland or Memphis would be a better location for an NFL franchise as opposed to Birmingham?
I cannot imagine an NFL team in Portland.
I can't either.
If we had an NFL team, because I started thinking about this, and you mentioned the UFL attendance. If we had one here in Birmingham, I have no doubt that we would have great ticket sales and attendance for the first season. But would that continue?
If it was an NFL franchise, hands down, if this was an NFL franchise, the personal seat licenses would be sold out immediately, and this would be one of the biggest NFL markets in the country.
I like to think so.
Yeah, I do too. I think we also can agree it would probably depend on how competitive they were early on, right? If you come into the league and, pull a Vegas Golden Knights like in the NHL, that's going to do a lot to spark fan interest pretty quickly.
I mean, I know the last few years in Nashville has been poor for the Titans, but when the Titans came on board and moved from Houston to the state of Tennessee, I mean, it has been incredible because everyone was saying there's no way that the Titans are going to overtake Tennessee football in regards to conversation in Nashville, Tennessee. And it absolutely has done that. Before we leave, Molly's got a little bit of breaking news coming out of South Bend, Indiana.
Conrad, get your jersey ready because Marcus Freeman says moving Tyler Buckner back to the Notre Dame quarterback room is under consideration.
God, things have gotten bad up there. You just played for national championship, and this is what you've fallen to already? I mean, you need bodies, but hell, I'll go slinging around up there. Good for you, Tyler.
I didn't know he had any more eligibility.
I didn't know either.
Didn't either.
Maybe he's suing the NCAA. Maybe he said, well, I was on the lacrosse team.
Doesn't count.
I was kidnapped by Alabama against my will. I want that season back. Paul Feinbaum show is next.